Okay, you can start.
Oh my bad. Welcome anime enthusiasts to Squad Nero, the ultimate destination for all things anime. Whether you're a seasoned otaku or just taking your first steps into the captivating world of Japanese animation, you found your home. I'm Rob, aka Sage, and with me today I have Nyle, aka Crocoscorner, Chef D, and Tsmoov, your guides through the vast realms of creativity, epic adventures, and heartfelt stories of anime, and gaming. Join us each week as we dive deep into the latest releases, explore hidden gems, and discuss the hottest topics in the Blur community. Get ready for a journey filled with laughter, tears, and the unbridled passion that makes a truly unique art form. Without further ado, let the anime odyssey begin. Welcome back, y'all. We are in week 14, episode 14, if I'm not mistaken. We churning these things out.
Can
And we
can
got a couple.
hold on? I'm sorry. We're going to say this right now. Congratulations, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 for winning Anime of the Year. All hands, all hands. Full respect. Thank you for that, D. Also, yeah, Rob, you sound like a Walmart edit music CD from back in the day, bro. Every time you give that intro, now I'm starting to understand what Now was talking about.
No, no,
Like,
no.
Yeah,
Week
it did it
12,
again.
week 12, that shit was smooth though.
yeah, it was, but it's something up with his mic. So what we're gonna have to do for future reference, I feel like we should pre-record that so then Rob can just lip sync it like he Mariah Carey, and he won't miss a step. We'll be straight. What do y'all think? Mariah Carey, this bad boy.
I ain't mad at it.
What if
Easily.
we
Pre-record it when it's not
pre-record it
like
and then just put it in the intro for the video, and
Oh,
then we
that'd be dope.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
another
we
way
could
of
probably
doing
do
it.
that.
Then we just cut right in.
Yeah.
D, you
I
still
ain't mad
there?
at that.
Like, okay.
am I
I don't know
frozen
why
again?
it
You,
does
Damn.
that.
nah, you good now. You was frozen for a hot second. All right, right. All right, Sage. My apologies. I'll let you go ahead over there looking like Future in the studio.
All right, so week 14, episode 14, we back in this thing.
Sensational.
We got a couple different topics. These are more so some calmer things. We could start off with the Spider-Man video, but I'll just give it some time for that one. Um, gonna do. Did anybody else watch the Avatar? I didn't get everybody's response.
No.
Is it just me? Derek, did you watch it?
Just you player.
It was just me. Damn it, man.
Yes,
Do y'all
sir.
care if we go over the reaction to it?
I don't care.
That's
Go
fine.
ahead. Give us your thoughts.
All right. So after rewatching the animated series, I think because I've been seeing it on social media a lot, where a lot of people have been in a bad rep because they're not necessarily conveying the same way certain aspects of the story as they did in the animated show, and they're feeling like if you're a person who really enjoyed and really loved the animation show and expecting it to be to a one-to-one adaptation, you aren't going to like because they kind of took even I was talking to somebody about this where they took certain portions of the second season and molded them into the first season to be able to keep the ball rolling in terms of a TV show aspect. Like you can't necessarily do the adapt in one because you're not necessarily know if it'll be to the same extent that the animated show already made it to be. It's like you chasing perfection when it's you could just do it your own way and find your own unique way to be able to adapt the same scenes but convey those same emotions. You had different creatures like Ko. They went over that story and everything like that. The I want to say the animation, the creature design is fire. The animation or the CGI for all of the benders is straight cold. They did not miss with any of the choreograph that all of these characters used to do in the animated show or anything like that, and they put unique different twist, but they still kept that same mold. Like it was something so trivial, but it was the cabbage man in Umashu where he kept screaming about his cabbages in the animated show. And you would think that since this is the live action, they don't want to waste too much time on that type of aspect, but they were still able to find ways in order to put that cabbage man in the story.
Wait. They gave me the cabbage man.
Yeah, where he was screaming about his cabbages and that.
See, My whole thing is this is why I'm not pressed to watch it. Like you're giving good insight on it, but also giving us the pros and cons. You're giving us good pros. You're giving us like some of the cons. But my whole thing is people are mad for the wrong reason. It's a live action. You're stuck with a certain budget and you cannot put everything in. That's the biggest problem with most of these live adaptations of animated shows. I.e., for me, call back Yu Yu Hakusho. They rushed everything in one because they have a limited budget and they cannot like spring out. Because if they gave us everything in all 112 episodes, animation, CGI, everything under the sun, it would be fire. Even if they would have gave us 5 seasons and branched everything out, or 3 or 4 seasons, I'll be fine with 5 episodes per season. I would be fine. It's just that you got to give us quality, give us the story. You don't have to give us every major moment, but at least we could have waited to at least season 3 for the Dark Tournament. Season 1, you like Yusuke is like setting up to get himself together. Then you bring Kuwabara in. Then all of a sudden, season 2, the training with Genkai. You got that tournament. Season 3, Dark Tournament. Season 4, when you could do like a part 2 to the Dark Tournament right before he fights the girl. And then season 5, right there ended. Like his great granddaddy, he's got to fight his inner demons to take out that one dude that he fights in the last 20 episodes. But Netflix is not going to give them that big budget. They're not. So they got to sit there and condense everything in as quickly as possible and make it unique in its own way. So the live action is going to be way different from the animated series. I'm never, like, you can't be, oh, they should have had this 1-to-1. No, they can't do that. That's why I'm never, like, with these live actions, I'm never pressed to try and watch them. But I can't be mad that they're not giving me everything down to the T. But at the same time, I can still be pissed off, though. Depending on what the animated show that they're bringing back. I.e. Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm still pissed off about that. I'm going to still hold that right.
Yeah, no, I get
Stand
that.
on business. Stand on business with that one. They should have left that one alone.
So I'm gonna ask y'all reviews. I'm gonna just say this one key difference where I'm seeing a lot of gripe in the community about it when it comes to the option of it. In the animated show, when Zuko had to go in his Agni Kai where he got his scar from, and he refused to fight in the animated show. He refused to fight his father, so his father ended up burning him in the process. The live action did it differently, where they actually showed Zuko fighting his father. I can't remember his point in time. Apologies. And it came to a point in the fight where Zuko actually had the opportunity to strike his father, but he held back, and his father then put him down on the ground and said, "You show weakness," and that's what gave him the scar. And supposedly, his father looked remorseful when he was doing it. Supposedly, and I didn't see it that way when I watched it, but nonetheless, that was
How
different how
did
the
you
live
feel about
action did
that?
it. I did not care because it's still in the aspect show the premise of that whole entire scene. Zuko wasn't somebody who wanted to resort in fighting for all of his means, especially when it meant dishonoring the person that he loved and wanted the most admiration from in his whole entire. He showed compassion also because his uncle always constantly permeating the idea of taking a more compassionate route. Zuko in the animated show was doing niggas filthy, stealing niggas food and shit like that, stealing niggas animals that he just got from healing from. They helped him heal type shit, or helped his uncle heal from being poisoned type shit, and it steals from him. So over the time, I feel like this show is actually showing progression towards compassion sooner, so they can. So the friendship between Aang and him, it's not feeling rushed. They're already rushing everything up to that point in time to be like maybe. I mean, Zuko in the show is still like hell bent on his desire. He's not friends with this nigga. He in the show that he saved him from that prison with the mask and the 2 swords, and then the sister pulled up and started running shit. So they showed him with Aang then. had to save him type shit, and then they ended up having a conversation. But I think I like it. I overall I like what they're trying to do with it. The sights, they did not waste not one bit with the CGI. It looks, I'm not gonna lie, it looks very clean. Cole especially is probably like the for what they could have did. The niggas really face swap with Shawty and then face swap. I think that was Monkey. Shit was just Monkey Wolf, whatever the fuck this shit was. Shit was cold, but from that, how do y'all feel about that change in the direction it took in the live action? Would that something that be deter your decision from watching it now together?
It well,
I guess it's 50-50.
well, it's not deterring me from watching it. Like I said, I'm going to watch it. It's just I'm not bent to watch it as soon as possible. That's my whole thing. It's still the
Yeah.
Avatar. Like it's better than the movie that M Night Shyamalan came out with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get them doing liberties, and you kind of just gotta like understand that to the point you said, Rob. Like it's gonna be certain aspects that you gotta kind of speed up. Like I guess that like that's fine. I get that. Sometimes like T said though, I just don't enjoy it. Like even though I understand why they got to do it, it turns me off a little bit. Um, but there's also times where I'll see like original adaptations when it's like time for a live action or whatever, and I'm like, all right, that's not that. Like I actually enjoy how they did the story and weaved it through. From how you're describing it, it sounds like I might enjoy it because it's not that they trying to like cut things for unnecessary. Like that's what I feel like T happened with Yu, is that they just like cut a lot of things unnecessary. Like it wasn't any thought behind cutting it. It was just like let's cut it. And I haven't seen it, but just off of how you described it and how others described it, that's what it really kind of gave the vibe of. Whereas how Rob just described Avatar, it sounded like okay, they had to cut some things, but they had to cut some things to strengthen other areas of the story. So that to me seems a little bit more digestible and like easier for me to translate personally. So yeah, it's like 50-50 though. It's one of them things where again, I it doesn't make me want to watch it more, but I probably still would give it a shot off hearing that.
Hmm. Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
you, D?
I will still give it a shot. I don't mind the change in that scene at all. I mean, I understand that people have different interpretations of the scene, so I mean, if they add a little extra to it, that's fine with me. I didn't expect them to go, shot for shot with the show. It's not like a Watchmen style movie anyway, so it's cool with me.
All right. Well, we'll come back to this once they fully watch it. It might be a different feeling once y'all watch. Cause I'll be seeing vitriol pointed at this. Vitriol pointed at this.
Yeah.
For whatever reason,
Wait,
I like
what?
it.
What's the word you just used?
Vitriol.
Vitriol.
Can you use that in a sentence again?
Do I have
He
to
used
repeat
it
the
right.
sentence I just used?
Can I get the origin of that word? What's the meaning of that word? I'm gonna start asking you.
Vitriol.
I'm just saying.
Disgust.
Disgust.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really what it means.
It's something along that line. It's probably like a sentence.
How do you spell it?
TI.
VITIOL.
Cruel or bitter
Vitriol.
criticism. That's the literal definition.
Yeah.
Cruel or bitter criticism, which is he used it right.
Parents act like my boy Rob ain't go to school or something.
No, I'm just saying. Like it's like at this point in his life, I'm never expecting him to throw these big words out there. I'll just be sitting there like,
Oh,
okay.
he
I've
always do
always
that,
used
dog.
big
Yeah,
words.
he
What are you
He's
always
a
do
talking
that.
about?
he's a Canisius Crusader. That's regular words to Rob.
Hmm.
All
Oh.
right, this nigga gassed it.
Oh. Okay.
Size God. Size God.
Okay. That's
This
that
nigga
Canisius
gassed it.
talk. That's that Canisius talk.
He's gassing it. All right, yeah. I think that would be Spider-Man 4. We want to hop into that hot topic. We got a video today brought to us by damn, what's his name again? Hold up. I'll put it in a group chat as well for y'all so
Hmm.
y'all can pull it up. But we can watch
Oh,
the
oh, I
Den of
don't
Nerds.
know.
There we go. The Den of Nerds. Actually,
Wait, the Den of Nerds?
Yeah.
They were at that Comic Con I went to last year. No, 2-3 years ago when I went to New York Comic Con. They had like a magazine. Alright, let's just get this rocking and rolling because I'm about to body slam a child.
Hold on real quick. I'm actually about to... I gave that a wrong joint.
Uh-oh. Wait, I thought you did. You sent the one in the chat is the wrong one?
No, it's the right one. Because I have it right here. I'm about to play it in just a second.
All right. Nah, I was gonna send y'all to the live stream.
Nah, just let them watch that one.
Oh, just watch it. Okay.
Yeah. So let's get this rocking on. Just go ahead and mute yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Yeah, we can mute.
There's like a shocking amount of leaks and rumors out there about Spider-Man right now. This has to do with Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, the future of Andrew Garfield's story, and it has to do with Secret Wars, the collapsing of the multiverse, and how the multiverse is still going to exist after Secret Wars because of Sony. These updates are already crazy enough on their own, but when you combine them with other rumors and things that we've been hearing about for years, it gets even more insane. Because I've been doing this and following this stuff literally for a job for the past 6 years, I can explain all of this. And that's what we're going to do in this video. I also want to mention that there is a second chance Kickstarter for my comic book Unity going on right now. So if you missed the first Kickstarter, this is a chance for you to get in on Unity and pre-order a copy of the book for when it ships later this year. And if you want to try it before you buy it, there is an option to read the first 45 pages of Unity for $1. But I'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about in this video is Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. And there have been major updates over the past month when it comes to this movie, Sony, and Marvel. It was reported by insiders in early February that there was a division between Sony and Marvel, that they had not actually completed the script for Spider-Man 4. Part of the reason why is because Sony wants to do multiversal stuff. They want Andrew and Tobey in the film, while Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios want Spider-Man 4 to be more grounded. There's also a report that Sony wanted Kevin Feige to sort of rush this movie out, to get this movie out in 2025, and the reports were that Kevin Feige is just way too swamped, buried in work, trying to adjust the Thunderbolts, Captain America, doing some more recent reshoots. So those are all the old reports, and by old I mean from a couple of weeks ago, right? But we do have some new updates on this movie. Now, the current updates come from Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus, and he says here, so far what's been out there is accurate. If I had to give my input, it would be that a middle ground is being negotiated by having the story involve both elements. He means multiversal elements and street level grounded elements. And right now, Sony aiming for a 2025 release, which would be very unlikely to work at this current stage. Now, this is super interesting, but there's way more to the story than just these updates. I want to bring up a report from a couple of weeks ago where Daniel RPK said even after the multiverse saga ends, the Marvel multiverse won't, and Sony is the reason. And it's no coincidence that Sony's pushing for multiversal elements in Spider-Man 4, and they also want the multiverse to last even longer than after Secret Wars, right? I think from Marvel's perspective, they actually wanted to consolidate everything Marvel after Secret Wars. That's the big rumor, that they want a streamlined universe. There's not going to be like a multiverse anymore. It'll just be one universe out there where Marvel is telling stories that'll be this sort of soft, rebooted version of the MCU. And I remember reports from over a year ago coming from Paul from Heavy Spoilers, where he was talking about how he had heard from sources that Marvel and Sony were considering bringing the Venom character from Sony into the MCU proper, and that was going to be something done via Secret Wars. But I think the more recent reports and this friction on Spider-Man 4 specifically hints that Sony does not want to do that, and I can't really blame them. I mean, the Spider-Verse itself is a way for Sony to tap into some really cool ideas, and a lot of the movies they've done via the multiverse, like Spider-Man No Way Home, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, these are very successful films for them. So I can absolutely see why Sony doesn't wouldn't want to just give total control over to Marvel and have everything Spider-Man taking place in live action within this sort of new MCU universe post Secret Wars. Now, I'm going to do some more videos on the plot of Spider-Man 4 and how I think that'll work, because I think Marvel's still going to want to do a lot of the Kingpin street level stuff, and I think there's a number of different ways that Sony could then bring in the multiverse. Alex Perez is saying that if what he is hearing is true, there's like less than 5% chance that Tobey and Andrew are actually in the next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. But there's another new report about Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, which makes me think that some of what we're hearing about right now is actually two different Spider-Man 4s.
What did he say?
Thomas Hayden Church once again said in an interview that he has heard that Sam Raimi's making another Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, and that would be the movie that Tom Church would come back for. And I did a video on these exact same rumors over a year ago. This dude was talking about this around the time of Spider-Man No Way Home. He started to talk about it again about a year ago, and here he is now in the present day, in this year of our Lord 2024, once again talking about Sam Raimi doing another Spider-Man movie and him coming back for it. Now, I want to speculate on this because it's super unclear what is going on. Like, is Tom Church just talking out of school? Does he have any idea what he's actually talking about? Who knows? But Sam Raimi is absolutely back in the superhero game. There's a lot of rumors suggesting that Sam Raimi could be the guy to direct Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, which would make him far too busy to also do Spider-Man 4, at least you would think, right? So what I think is going on here is both Sony and Marvel desperately want more Sam Raimi Spider-Man. But I think Kevin Feige wants him to do more Spider-Man in Secret Wars and play with those characters. And Tobey Maguire is rumored to be the lead or one of the leads of the Secret Wars movie, and perhaps even of both Secret Wars movies. But on the Sony side of things, I think they desperately want to do a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire as the lead, and perhaps have that tie into the multiverse, and perhaps even be a movie that is done over at Sony, but ends up tying back into Secret Wars. So the multiversal elements that will be negotiated into Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland could introduce the ideas of Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, with Andrew Garfield, and with Sam Raimi at the helm. And there are even more comments being made by insiders that explain that this is real, that these conversations are actually happening. Check out what Alex Perez said when asked about Andrew Garfield returning. He said here, "I really don't want to get anyone's hopes up with this because the chances of him getting a full-blown movie are very minimal. A continuation of his story is 100% coming, but it's not going to warrant another film at this point in time." And then in response to that, he's asked about if that's the same for Tobey. And he answered here, it's a little bit different, which implies that you could be seeing another Tobey Spider-Man film. So again, when you combine the fact that Sony's really interested in doing the multiverse, and they actually want to extend the multiverse past Secret Wars so that they can still have fun playing with all the different Spider-Man. You bring in the fact that Thomas Church has been talking about a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey and Sam Raimi for years, and he continues to talk about it. Alex Perez is talking about how Andrew Garfield's story is going to be continued, but probably not in a solo film focusing on him. And then when asked if that's the same for Tobey, he said, no, it's actually a little bit different for Tobey. Well, to me, when you put all of that together, it makes it seem like another Spider-Man movie starring Tobey Maguire could be made, which would involve the multiverse. And this also ties into rumors that Tobey and Andrew and Tom Holland will appear in the next animated Across the Spider-Verse movie. And I've heard a ton of rumors that that series of films and Miguel O'Hara himself controlling the multiverse was something discussed by Sony and Marvel, and a potential connection to Kang and the multiverse, and that Sony wanted to do their own thing. They wanted to do like a Spider-Geddon type of thing in live action that would tie in to what's going on in the Spider-Verse movies. Now, the last thing we got to talk about in this video all has to do with Venom. Venom 3, the symbiote, the end of Spider-Man 4, and the plans that Marvel and Sony have made for Secret Wars. I think it's pretty obvious if you look at how Venom 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home connected to each other, with the symbiote being left behind in 616 after Eddie Brock is jettisoned back to his own universe, that there's a multiversal connection there. There's something going on, and that seems to be a way that Sony wanted to connect the Venom character to Tom Holland's Spider-Man and the MCU. Well, I've also been told, and I've shared in recent videos, that Venom 3 may well set up Venom going out into the multiverse in order to find Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And this has something to do with Secret Wars. It also has to do with the fact that Tom Holland will have the Venom symbiote by the end of Spider-Man 4. It's kind of a big spoiler as to how that's all going to go down. I've talked about it in another video, but suffice it to say, at the end of Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland will be very different, and he will have the Venom symbiote as a suit. It's also interesting to think about that the Spider-Boys themselves in Spider-Man No Way Home all talk about the Venom suit, right? You've got Tobey talking about how he once fought an alien. Andrew Garfield's like, I really want to fight an alien. Tom Holland has fought an alien, but he hasn't fought the Venom symbiote, right? So what if the multiversal elements of Spider-Man 4 and the Venom symbiote coming into contact with Tom Holland in Spider-Man 4, plus the ending of Venom 3, what if all of that is to connect together to create this new Spider-Man 4 for Tobey Maguire, which would continue Andrew Garfield's story, it would continue the story of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and continue the story of Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy's Venom, and connect to Secret Wars? Could this be another reason that Sony's really trying to push Kevin Feige to get Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland out in 2025? Is this potentially why we're hearing reports that the multiverse will still exist past Secret Wars? Because maybe Sony's realizing they can still do that movie with Venom and all the Spider-Boys together, and maybe they're all in Venom symbiote suits and they're in the multiverse, and Sony can technically still do that after Secret Wars. Basically, when you take into account all the different rumors and leaks and kind of things that actors and directors are saying out there, it's painting a crazy fucking picture, dude. Like, there's some wild stuff being cooked up for the multiverse when it comes to Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, Tobey, Venom, even Tom Holland. And I know we're all concerned that Sony's going to push Marvel into making some bad content, but I think there's some things that are going to keep them working together, like Miles Morales and the fact that Sony kind of still needs Kevin Feige in the MCU to give them a boost. Check this out, though. My comic book Unity is on Kickstarter again. This is just a second chance campaign for people that missed the first one, or people that were kind of on the fence about getting this comic. And the thing that's cool is the team and myself have actually completed the first chapter of the 5 chapters that make up the graphic novel, and we're well into chapter 2. And we decided to let people try Unity before they commit to buying Unity. And for the first week of this Kickstarter, you can go over to the Kickstarter and back the early bird special, and then I will send you the first 45 pages of Unity. That's right, for $1 you can get the first 45 pages of Unity in a PDF. You can read it, and if you don't like it, you can even cancel your $1 pledge, and it's no big deal. But I actually think you'll love the first chapter of Unity. I think you'll be so intrigued and interested that you will want to purchase the full thing. So check out Unity if you didn't get a chance to get it in the first Kickstarter. And of course, let me know what you think about all this craziness when it comes to the Spider-Man news. As I always say, I hope...
All right. Anybody got any first thoughts?
Well, my thing is Venom right out the cuff going, if they do this right, it can be an amazing Venom movie. It can literally kill the first 2 if they do this right with Venom going through the multiverse, because he did make a reference that if Tom Hardy's character Eddie Brock understood like the information that each Venom has, like from the alien race that Venom came from, his brain would implode. But if he's able to control that while going through the multiverse with Venom, not gonna lie, if they do the plot and everything right to make this work, where we get the Spider-Verse coming into the MCU and make it a permanent thing, and you let Kevin Feige take control of Venom to let him actually do what he can do with him, because they were going to give Venom the name for the one Insomniac game that they're coming out with for Venom. What was it, Rob? Something Enforcer?
I can't remember.
But if they do it right, honestly, Venom 3 could be amazing. Even though I know what isn't it like done because it's supposed to come out this fall, right?
Is that true?
I don't think
I
so. I
think.
think I think they got Craven coming up, but I don't know if they got Venom, another Venom coming. I don't think
Yep,
so.
November 8th, 2024. Venom 3 release date.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, because
Is
we
that
get
real?
we got multiple Spider Verse movies coming out. Madam Web, Craven, and Venom 3.
But they just piling shit on top of shit at this point, though. You not scared about what Sony trying to
So
force?
here's my thing. Um, Venom, you can do a lot with Venom. The first one, I give it 7.5. The second one, only because of the Maury joke, I gave it an 8. Because when Carnage goes, "Oh hey, you're my dad," and Venom switches back with Tom Hardy, like I don't belong here. That ain't my kid. With him saying he might be right, that might be my kid. That line took the cake. So, but when it comes to this one, if they do it right with all the speculation and rumors, it if they do it right, they can't drop the ball. And honestly, I see Kevin Feige really helping out with Venom 3 to build a welcoming bridge for Venom into the MCU with him jumping back and forth. You feel what I'm saying? So if Kevin Feige doesn't Marvels it per se, if y'all get what I'm saying, we might actually have a hit on our hands with Venom being welcomed into the MCU. Just like if, as long as Deadpool does what it's supposed to do, coming into the MCU, where MCU might be back on top with these, like this seesaw battle between good movies and bad movies, and us sitting here like what's to come next with these next series of movies, this next phase. Is this phase gonna be doodle butt cheeks, or is this phase gonna pick itself back up and we're gonna have a hit on our hands?
Quickly, I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, cause Tom Hardy, that's his name, right? The actor for
Yep.
Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's been cool, but he's been a more jovial Venom in comparison to its comic book counterpart. I would want a Venom. Me personally, this is quite different. If I want a Venom facing Tom, I want that nigga to be vicious, and I don't get that vicious right from Hardy's Venom.
Now, let me go back. Remember the cutscene when he's in Mexico, like he gets thrown into the MCU and he sees Tom Holland
Yeah,
and he licks the TV. I feel
yeah.
like at that point we might actually get that, because if you think about it, Venom in the Venom Spider Verse, he never really had a big bad to really go back and forth with. He pretty much had to face himself. Each symbiote, fought a symbiote in the first one, fought a symbiote in the second one. Now you're actually fighting a human that got like Superman abilities with spiders tendencies. He's gonna want that. That's why we're gonna get like a piece of the symbiote to attach to Spider-Man. Because you got to remember, back in the animated series, back in the game, the symbiote wanted to be a part of Spider-Man because they saw him as a strong host. I see him leaving Eddie Brock and coming over to Spider-Man for a hot minute. And Eddie Brock and Spider-Man gonna work together to get Venom back to normal, to go back to Eddie. That's just an idea that may not sound like a good movie, but I feel like that's the way it might go, where we'll get that big fight between Venom and Spider-Man.
How y'all feeling?
I mean, the video was cool. Like you said, Rob, it is a lot going on. Like like two Spider-Man 4 movies, Tobey Maguire having a lead, doing all this and that. It's like, all right, I understand what y'all want to do, seeing the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, but it's like you giving us too much at one time for people to really even comprehend what's going on. But like bringing Venom in there, like you said, Rob, like you want Venom and Eddie and Spider-Man to have like some type of history or something, or to like have Eddie not like Spider-Man for a reason, then he gets the Venom suit, right? Because it's like we haven't even seen Tom Holland snap a picture for the Daily Bugle or nothing. Like, what is this nigga's job? What are they gonna have him be doing? Like, how he gonna meet Eddie Brock, or if there's an Eddie Brock in his universe, like, what's gonna happen? Like, it just seems like it's just him, and everybody that he fight got a grudge with Iron Man type shit. So I'm just trying to figure out what they're gonna do with that. But I think Tobey Maguire having a Spider-Man movie, leading off into Andrew Garfield having a movie, it's like now y'all just doing a little bit too much.
He could very well be working at the Baxter Foundation with Fantastic Four dropping shortly after that. They might be able to drop a little teaser or Easter egg post-credit scene where he get a job there. Who knows for Spider-Man 4?
So
Who
Tom
knows?
Holland Spider-Man or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
Tom Holland's. Tom Holland's, because at that point in time, Fantastic Four, once their movie comes out, they're basically coming back to time. We know all the history or the rumors so far where they're in the 1960s and then they get time jump or they go back in time and try to get back, or one of the two. We don't know. It's one of those two. But they're eventually going to come back to the main timeline. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be the ones to who have copped that place, or some other big bad has copped that place where the Avengers Tower used to be. In New York. But now, how you feeling though?
So I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, but I just kind of been thinking about it. If Sony is gonna keep Spider-Man, like it's kind of like we gotta. I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to admit that like having this, even though this one character has so much to him, having this almost because of him having so much to him, like going back and forth with Marvel and Sony, I just think that's almost what's going to be putting these movies at jeopardy more than the actual movies themselves. Cause I get it. Like you gonna want to use Spider-Man in both. Like Sony gonna want to keep Spider-Man, but Marvel is Spider-Man, bro. Like they gonna want to use Spider-Man. So I feel like if that's the inevitable future that we had, I kind of do agree with the video, where it's like we might need to have multiple moving parts in regards to Spider-Man. If you Sony, you might need to have an animated side. You might need to have maybe like the Tom Holland side, but if the Tom Holland side is interacting with the MCU side, then you have another story. And see, I thought that if you asked me this when Venom 1 came out, right? I thought that was the role Venom was gonna, but the Venom movies didn't. They were okay. They weren't great. So I don't think that it had the push that Sony was per se looking for. Which that's the thing. They should have just collaborated with Marvel. I don't think they did for any of the Venoms, but they should have collaborated more. Maybe the first one, but they should have collaborated more with Marvel on the idea how to use Venom. I think that we might see two Venoms too, which I don't like the idea of. But Rob, you was talking about oversaturation. This is not really helping at all with that. But I'm starting to think that there's gonna be a storyline that will follow the Venom that we know from the Sony universe, but then the MCU might have their own version of Venom that would follow not only a more comic book accurate, because like if you were to get that right, and if they're trying to get a Spider-Man movie out before Secret Wars, which like to be honest with you, with Kang Dynasty kind of morphing the way that it has now, I wouldn't be shocked if one of the movies get pushed back and in place of that is another Spider-Man movie. I still wouldn't rule that out. But I could see where they would possibly go to MCU side, staying in the realm of multiverse too, which is something that they just expanded on in the comic books with Venom. Having another Venom, it just kind of, the writing on the wall just kind of seemed like it's there, but I don't really know. I don't like it. I don't disagree with you and Derek, where it's like we just haven't seen enough from the Spider-Man verse characters and movies to jump out on that leg and have like 3 different versions of this character, 3 different versions of that character. I just don't think that. I don't think that's gonna solve your problems. You know what I mean? Because like, how would you feel if it's like you got a Venom in the MCU and you like that Venom a lot, then when Sony go and do their version of Venom, is ass, and then you just like, well, I don't even know how to feel about this character anymore because I know one instance I'm gonna see him is ass, and the other instance I'm gonna see him might be fire. It's just kind of like I don't see nothing good coming from it, but I feel like there may be writing on the walls that something like that is gonna end up happening. Maybe not for Venom, but specifically for Spider-Man with the news as that was just listed. It might be the case where you got three, like you got a Spider-Man MCU, animated Spider-Man, real life Spider, like it's just a lot. It is. I don't know.
So you're
Ah.
And
so are you agreeing that Tom Hardy wouldn't be the Venom that you would choose against Tom Holland?
Nah, it would be a different one. Which I
It
don't know
has
if
to
I.
be,
I don't
right?
think I like that. I don't think I like that. Like I don't hate the idea. I don't. Excuse me. I don't love the idea of Tom Holland's versus or Tom Hardy versus Tom Holland Spider-Man Venom. I don't know if I love that. There's obviously some story correlations that make sense for if that were to happen, but I don't think that it would be helping anybody.
Mhm.
I really don't. I don't think that it would help Sony out if you use this same Venom. I think the idea having the one Venom going back to the Sony verse essentially, and the other portion of it staying in the MCU,
Mhm.
now would be the best time to have a reintroduction because you think with the Venom movie we haven't had the actual introduction of the Venom symbiote, which
Mhm.
is originally with Spider-Man, like you spoke on, right? You got the Fantastic Four. It's like you can literally do comic book accurate right now the way that it's set up. The Fantastic Four leading into Secret Wars. That is literally where Spider-Man had the black symbiote in the original comic, and it was Reed Richards who told him you need to get rid of this suit after studying it. So you can do that whole setup and then have that go to a new, like have that go to a new um Eddie Brock that would exist in the MCU world. But going back to what y'all said, is that not too much? Like, are we not doing too much at that point?
I don't think
Got
so.
all of these characters all over the place. I don't know.
It
I don't
they
know.
they trying to push it to even crazier heights in Endgame, so they gotta double down on so what made those first couple four phases so great, and that was the combination of everything, the blending in of everybody's stories. With you can only all they had to do was just use some simple like Easter egg post credit scenes, and it kept everybody in the loop. You ain't got to go too
yeah,
crazy with it. You could just sprinkle it in there so you know it can basically with these post credit scenes, you can do a lot of story just a such short amount of get your point across so everybody can be focused and excited for what's to come and everything. I yo, it's just Sony, bro. Sony scares me.
Yeah,
Cause
exactly. That's on because that go back to what I was saying, bro. Sorry to cut you off.
no, you
But
good.
if you know the Sony movie is like you got the same character, two different iterations, and you got 1 year is coming out fire with this Marvel Studio product, and then the next year it's like this subpar Sony project. It's like, what are we doing with the character at this point? Like, what are you? That's a lot.
I'm scared that they're going to. This is my initial thinking when I was hearing everything. I'm scared that they're gonna try and horse shit on top of shit. This Craven the Hunter movie that they dropping is gonna be even more ass gas. And then, luckily, if they do, and this rumor is true, they do a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. I think that would be a hit just because of the nostalgia, and it'll have multiverse implications, I guess, embedded into the story as well. So you practically you practically getting a hit. People's gonna fill the seats to want to figure out what's been up with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man for so long. But if they try and combine more ass gas movies on top of this with all of the other secondary characters, and they try and push this towards a Spider Geddon, or all the multiverse Spider-Mans are getting killed by the I can't remember the name of the group, but Ezekiel Sims was a part of them. Um, all of that jazz. Or they try to do a null story with the symbiote god and symbiotes that they've been pushing and everything like that, and they're continuing to push onto the new film. Scared that they're going to try and push towards any of those big ass things, and if they fuck it up in live action, they will never be forgiven for that because it'll be the first time that they actually dive deep into these storylines in live action. It's a
Bro,
reason
at
why.
this point, you almost gotta expect it though. Like at
Yeah.
that, if you take how many movies been bad or okay, not even just bad, include the okay ones too. If they were to do a movie with Ezekiel Sims and his crew, which is a good plot, I like the idea of these things being made into movies because Spider-Man got some fire mythos. But if they do these things right now, as we know how they've been, you basically can count on it not being good. And it's just kind of like, dog, that's where yeah, exactly what you said is exactly how I feel too. It's the Sony side that make me nervous. Cause I think the MCU with flaws like you know how Incredible Hulk, even though like we don't love it obviously, but you know how they kind of had the stories in between the different movies because they didn't have the rights of the Hulk in the different movies that they had. Like I could see the MCU doing something like that with Venom or Spider-Man or the combination of both that will lead, or Ezekiel Sims and Co. that could lead into something really good. And then by the time we get the Sony version of it, it's just like, where did all of that hype go? Like, where did everything that Marvel was doing a really good job building us up around this? You killed it. It just make me nervous about that. They need to sell them. That's what they need to do. They need to sell Spider-Man. This is ridiculous.
If they fell with Tobey Maguire, they might have. I'm not gonna lie. That might be the first tipping point. I mean, Madam Web might be the tipping
So,
point.
so my whole thing is, Rob, you remember that beautiful statue you got in the back behind you?
Yeah.
I came across something because I was like trying to do a little research
Say its
while y'all were
name.
talking. While y'all were talking, but here you go, Rob. This is the poster that they had up for the new Venom coming out.
Yeah, 19 inches.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Say that shit, Terrence.
I ain't saving
Yeah.
that. Nope.
Yeah.
Yo, one thing about this Spider-Man shit, bro, like Rob's saying, you could have like they can work Nolan there, maybe like after a Doctor Doom or like during the Doctor Doom. I hope they just never kill off Doctor Doom. Like you can work Noel in there, don't even kill that nigga off either. But it's like if y'all doing all this, if y'all
I think we lost D.
Yeah, I think
He
you
gonna come
froze up.
back. There you go. All right,
Yeah.
you gotta
my fault,
you
my
gotta
fault.
repeat yourself.
Y'all,
You
if
good.
y'all bringing all this Spider-Man shit, like Tom Holland got to have one movie where he grounded on his own. Like he had one movie where he fought Vulture, who had beef with Iron Man. Then he was taken to space. Then he came back with others. No, then he came back. It was in fucking what, London or Spain, doing
Yep.
some shit with Mysterio. Then he was fighting in with other Spider-Man and niggas from different multiverse. Like, yo, let this nigga just fight Kingpin. Let him give him a movie on his own. Like, I understand they want to add all these other things into it. Like, they might want to add a scene with Daredevil, a scene with this.
There we go again.
Like my fault, my fault. Damn, what's the last thing I said?
Him
Daredevil.
fighting Daredevil.
Yeah, so I was like, they want to add Daredevil in there. Like, let this nigga have one movie on his own where he like going against Kingpin or something. Like, it's enough of this, earth shattering, the earth about to explode type shit. Like, just let this nigga have some shit where he trying to stop some corruption going on in New York City. Like, it's enough of this world about to end and we about to fight niggas from Mars and a new symbiote, this and this. It's like we could bring the symbiote in, but it's like just keep some shit simple, bro.
To that point, Derek, this is a good question I think that I got from this too. Do you think it's possible that Sony don't have the confidence that they can after Andrew Garfield? Just do a movie where Tom Holland Spider-Man is holding himself up and
A-
it's just centralized around that?
I
Animated
think they
wise. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
animated. My bad. I think they do have the.
Oh, cut out
Oh, you
again.
gotta repeat it again.
Damn. God, what the fuck going on with my Wi-Fi? Oh, I'm on my blue. I'm on my hotspot. My fault, y'all.
Yeah.
But I feel like Tom Holland can definitely bring in the bread. It's Spider-Man, but they're like, oh shit, if we bring in Toby and Andrew and Venom and Tom, they trying to go for that 2 billion mark. They trying to
No,
make some profit off that motherfucker.
in my opinion, what they should do,
That's fucking dope.
leave Tom Holland. Yo, what's good, Red? What's crack-a-lacking, bro? Now with Tom Holland, let him hang out with Kevin Feige. Let him stay over there. If you need to bring him over for a moment, go ahead, do that. But who's your favorite Spider-Man then, Cole? Who's your favorite Spider-Man? Talking about some bump Tom Holland, bring back Toby. Well, I'm working on that. I'm trying to get my thought across with that. Hold on. Leave Tom Holland with the MCU and work something out with the Venom 3 movie with another Spider-Man. The ending cutscene could be him going over to the MCU, what we're dealing with. Like, work out, see what you can do, because they already got the hype back with the other two Spider-Men from the last Spider-Man movie. We all know the hype is there. Everybody loves Andrew Garfield. Everybody loves Tobey Maguire. But bring Tobey or Andrew Garfield in this universe with Eddie Brock. Let's see what you can do with him being part on with Venom. See how it works out instead of jumping to give us Christopher Daniel Barnes. my whole thing is like, give us like the Venom 3 movie 25% Spider-Man. Let's see how people receive that. But Toby, if we had to choose a real one, of course Toby all day. But
we can't do Toby. We already seen it already. We gonna do
Yeah.
it again?
Well,
we can't do that again.
well, hold
It
on.
wasn't that great though, that first one.
But my whole thing is, I was trying to finish my plot, but Cole Red keeps coming in with some hot takes. But my whole thing is the even let this be Andrew Garfield. Let's see how well received we'll take it on what y'all do with this Spider-Man, and then we can speak about maybe another Spider-Man movie where let they're working with the Spider-Verse. Let's bring all this together, because they already showed in Into the Spider-Verse everything's connected. Everything's full on connected, and then you could probably use them as like agents trying to work their multiversal area out to fix it, to keep the timeline in play, and then you could have them two in their own separate movie, in like another Spider-Man movie. Not like each one of them getting like their own Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 4. Just see how it plays out in this Venom movie with one of them. Have them work with Venom, taking down a big bad. I read a while back, I read like some leaks for this Venom where they got him working with Andrew Garfield, taking down another version of the symbiote called Toxin. Okay. And them fighting, and then in the end they end up seeing Morbius in like an ending cutscene, which honestly, throw him in the trash. Because that Morbius movie was trash. They don't need to bring that ending credit scene. Could be left alone, where he's fighting this Andrew Garfield, and Andrew Garfield confirms that there is other Spider-Man in the multiverse, because he could talk about I seen one when I got switched over. Like, they have a moment of connection. So then the ending cutscene could be that Venom gets his bearings together and he travels to our MCU for a moment again. Someone showing that everything fully connected, or he ends up staying there or something, which will lead into Spider-Man 4, where let's say he fights this Venom. He thinks this Venom's a big bad, but this Venom's just a jolly-go-lucky, and the other Venom symbiote that was left there is against someone that really hates Spider-Man, which gives us that vicious Venom. In a sense. But in like the new Tom Holland movie, Tom Hardy can't help per se. Like, they find some way to create a loophole where by the time Tom Hardy's like, and Venom's like, yeah, I'm ready to help, and he gets sent back in some funny comical way. And then Spider-Man's stuck fighting the new symbiote that's in our MCU. Some way of like a handoff, like passing a baton, where we getting our own Venom, but that Venom staying in the Spider-Verse.
Yo, no funny shit. I think the Venom aspect would be crazy for Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, because who they got to keep them grounded? I mean, Tobey Maguire, he had MJ, he had Harry at the time, but now it's like with Tom Holland wishing nobody knew who he was and his aunt gone, it's like that Venom shit take over. Who gonna tell him about himself, And then Andrew Garfield, he get the Venom suit, it's like, damn, he watched his shorty die, but now he able to do more as Venom. So he's like, yo, I'm never giving this type of power up because it's like, I can do way more as Spider-Man. But it's like, who do these niggas have that's really gonna let them know about themselves going forward? I mean, that's gonna be interesting how they do that.
You right,
That's
because
exactly why.
I was gonna say that goes along with when Toby said, not Toby, Andrew Garfield's character said in the last Spider-Man movie, when I lost my MJ or Gwen Stacy, I was pulling my punches. So you got a point there, D. Then it will give him something more aspect to move on and actually do, like, be more of a Spider-Man again in a sense.
That's why I think a lot, like, it's kind of weird how they trying to do it with the timeline, because I feel like Reed Richards should take up the role that Tony Stark had for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But the timeline of the way that the movies will be going, if this were to happen, I don't know how you would have, like, even before Secret Wars established that relationship, unless it's just kind of like a growing thing that would come in a Spider-Man movie that will be before Secret Wars. But again, they just got done talking about in that video how that's going to be hard. So it's like, I don't, it's, that is a good point. It's like how this, like, the circumstances or the tension, even like, yo, even if you did a movie with Spider-Man with like Doc Ock again, one of the things that Doc Ock was good at doing in the comic books was like playing off of interest. Norman Osborn, same thing, playing off of like the people closest to Peter Parker. It's kind of like a big point to Spider-Man when you think about it. All of his enemies be like, we know your whole family. Like, we gonna let you not know that we know them. But then one day you gonna come home and we gonna be drinking tea with your aunt. Like, it's always something like that in the Spider-Man verse, where like, if you have Venom, I agree so much with y'all that like, you would need to have some type of element like that for it to almost even feel like a Spider-Man villain. Um, but the best that I could give you at this point would have to be like, they try to do a new. Well, there's Happy. I guess he's still in the MCU, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you could do Happy. Because again, just the connection with Happy is something where you could always kind of pull back from it. At least that's what it looked like after the last Spider-Man movie. But if not Happy, then again, you go on, unless you do Zendaya and the Venom just kind of figures it out, or the effects, or the magical effect that Doctor Strange did at the end of Spider-Man doesn't have an effect on Venom. You did something like that, maybe because he's coming from a different place. He knows all of the previous events of Spider-Man at Tom Holland, Spider-Man at Spider-Man. You could do something like that, but
What if they bring
it's
in the
not a
black cat?
very strong movie though. Like, when you just hear it like that, it just don't feel like a strong script.
Yeah. What if they bring in Black Cat instead? Since Tom Holland's Peter, technically his MJ doesn't know him. They supposedly she's supposed to be in the movie, but what if they go the Black Cat instead? Because they've never done that. I don't think so in any of the
See,
other
that kind of make more sense to me though with like an Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Really?
Because Mhm.
I say you have Black Cat, who's more of a person who teeters the line of good and bad. She's not OD super
Anti-hero.
terrible. Yeah, someone like an anti-hero. She's just stealing because she wants to steal and make herself rich.
Kind of like Catwoman.
Yeah, kind of like Catwoman.
Yeah.
And that could get Peter, because was he messing with her when he had the black suit on?
No,
I feel like no.
no.
Nah.
No.
I-
I feel like the two though. I
Repeat
feel
that.
like
You
her
were
be-
breaking up again. Can you?
I feel like the two would go in hand though. Him with the black suit and him also dating Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat.
But how does that do? Okay, but do you taper the line of them having their moment and all of a sudden then Zendaya starts to remember, but she starts to fall in love with Spider-Man again, and then they have that moment where he's stuck between a love triangle. Because we know he still loves Zendaya, but then he has a moment with Black Cat.
I could feel like once he takes off that black suit, he won't have that same love he had for Felicia Hardy just because of her decisions
N-
on a day in and day out basis. I feel like the black suit will mask a lot of that because the black suit is basically all races,
The base.
basically culminating in one. We've seen it in a portion in a certain portion of it with Tobey Maguire's Venom, where the symbiote made him be anxious ass bag type. He felt like he could get anybody, any shawty on fucking that streets type thing. Streets type thing. I
Sage,
feel like it had the same effect.
we need you to repeat that. You were breaking up like a Walmart edit parental advisory album. We need you to repeat
Did
that.
you already say that? You're repeating your jokes, man.
I don't care. I'm just
New
telling you.
material. New material.
You need a new machine. A new machine.
New material. Uh, damn it. Oh man. I feel like if Felicia Hardy would have to be in there because MJ, you can't just throw MJ back in. He just
Bro,
lost her. Yeah,
she
we
don't need to
just
be
had
in no more movies, no way.
yo, damn, that's crazy.
What?
I feel like she could come back,
They
or I
need to
feel like she
age
could
them
have.
up.
Yeah, I mean, he gonna be
And
in
I don't
college.
think you can. They look so kitty
Bro,
that like it's just hard to do. They look
he
like
was gone for
kids. They
five
look like
years, wasn't he?
kids.
He was gone for 5 years. Zendaya, bro, you in New York City. It's enough of this bullshit Disney shit. Zendaya need to be fucking, not Zendaya. Mary Jane need to be bad as fuck. His love interest need to be bad as fuck. It's enough of this little bullshit they got going on. Like, bro, this Spider-Man, he'd have missed 5 years. How that's gonna affect this nigga, like, damn, missed 5 years. I'm on my own. I ain't got my aunt no more. I gotta get a job, this and this.
He
I
not
don't
even
want
gonna look older.
they better get a nigga a beard or something.
Oh no.
Can he grow one? I'm
Yo.
Bro,
not
oh,
even
but
trying to be funny.
I was just thinking
Like,
about this real quick. You know how I was saying like he ain't got nothing to keep him grounded? In the
Mm-hmm.
comics, him and the Human Torch is like best friends anyway. So if he does work at the Baxter
dude,
building and he
That's
get
what,
cool
bro.
with the Fantastic Four and he
Yeah.
start acting different, Human Torch pulls him aside like my nigga Pete, like,
I
what's
need to.
going
like
on? Yeah, dude.
what's
I
going
think
on?
it's
Type shit.
Fantastic Four. That's a great point. That's a
That's the
damn
good
good
point, but
point.
I still want to see a dark route where we see a Spider-Man that got the symbiote on for like 2, 3 years, and Andrew Garfield, who nobody told this nigga, yo, like ever since you put on that black shit, you've been starting to hang these niggas. Like we seeing niggas with webs all over their face. We done found
Mm-hmm.
them suffocated type shit. Like yo, what's going on? He like the police chief nigga died that first movie. The
Yep.
second movie he did, like, and he the only nigga like when you think of Spider-Man, he the
Oh,
Lost him.
it
And we
went out.
lost it again.
only. My fault. I was saying like when you think of Spider-Man, he like the only one that fight like a Spider-Man in video games, like how he used his webs, like when he was locating the lizard, like the smart shit he was doing when he was fighting Electro. Like he uses the science, he uses the abilities that he has to his advantage. He's not just putting in web shooters just to swing around. Like he's like, how can I use these to web up enemies? How can I use these to slow somebody down? But it's like we need to see Tom Holland, whatever fuck, need to see him doing some shit like that. But I do want to see Andrew Garfield with the suit on for like
So,
a
so
long
you're
ass
saying,
time.
so
I'm
you're
not trying to bring
saying,
him back.
so you're saying, bring in the detective work of Batman per se, just like how they do with Andrew Garfield, like being
Yeah,
strategic
so
with his abilities.
yeah, because we seen this nigga, we seen Garfield make the suit, sew the suit. We saw him test the webbing. Like we saw him do all of this stuff on his own. Like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man to me is like the smartest one we've seen. Like, yeah, we seen Tom Holland make a suit on a ship. We seen him do all of this shit, but we ain't really see him say nothing smart. He just been a cool nigga in high school with Spider-Man powers. Like Garfield Spider-Man, yeah, he was tall, but he did seem like a nerdy
He
type
felt
nigga
more
that
like a scientist. Yeah,
bro,
Mm-hmm.
like when he
which
was in the
ultimately
sewer,
is like what
like
he
come on.
is.
Like he's like he really felt like the nerdy nigga in school with superpowers, as Tom Holland just felt like a regular ass white dude with superpowers.
Yeah.
Right.
You got a point. I mean, they might be able to tap because I don't think that they're gonna go the if they're jacking the same way that you're feeling about gonna make Spider-Man more nerdy, show out his nerdy side. If they do the Baxter building, and they can like coincide that jump seamless, where they can give Tom, especially that it be a lot more street level. He's only gonna be superheroes, not gonna be his. If any mentor is probably gonna be Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man 4 is coming up for Fantastic Four. So it's not like they'll be in that movie unless by some off chance they are. But he'll still be able to. I think they're gonna showcase that a lot more because I can't see him being at the Daily Bugle. I can see him tapping more into science shit because he already, if I'm not mistaken, he already got accepted to MIT, right? And No Way Home, or was that just his friends? Did he actually get an
It's
acceptance
just
as
his
well?
friends.
Yeah, it
I
was
thought he
just
Just
No,
got
his
his
an
I think it
friends.
acceptance
was.
as well.
I don't think he got
Yeah,
accepted.
You don't think he
I don't
after
think
he
he got.
saved the
because I
lady?
think he got forgotten. Because he
Nah,
got
after
forgotten
yeah,
after
yeah,
that.
yeah. But nah, after he saved the lady, I thought after all of that stuff,
Yeah,
She don't
I
remember none
she
of
thought
don't
that.
remember,
he still got
but she don't
okay.
remember nothing.
Oh,
After that
okay.
last spell,
Yeah,
remember the
that's what
last
made it
spell
so
erased
bittersweet.
everything.
Like he ain't
Yeah,
getting nothing. He ain't getting nothing out of that
cause
exchange.
remember at the end of
Damn.
is it? Yeah, No Way Home when he goes into that coffee shop, and Ned is meeting MJ for like the first time you could probably say, and they talk about how they got into MIT. At that point, you know Peter didn't because everybody forgot who he was
Right.
Yeah.
as a person, not as just Spider Man, but just as a person.
Nah, but that was at the end. I thought
Damn.
midway. I thought after he saved the lady
Yeah,
closer
she
because he
did.
did do the
But
wish.
in the
He
beginning,
did do the
yes.
wish, but it was just because Spider Man, so people didn't Spider Man. But I don't think that it impacted his actual acceptance to him. He got
No,
accepted
it
like
But
definitely
midway
he
through
did.
the
Because I
said
film.
think he went to a commuter college. He went to like some. He
No, no,
went
no,
to
no, no.
another
I
college.
know, I know. By the end, I'm talking about the middle of the movie
No,
though.
Oh,
the middle of the movie.
And like after he saved her, and then after that, I thought that they got the acceptance letters. Not at the end. I thought they already knew it
no,
during throughout
because
the movie.
because that before that point, MJ and Ned did get in before he saved the woman. So he saved the woman, and she knows his name, Peter Parker. So at that point, he didn't fully get in. She said that she'll have a talk with them. So they never really explained that he got in. So literally by the end of the movie, she forgot who Peter was.
I got you.
So
Okay.
he never really truly got accepted. It
he
was
should
more
have
of,
a grizzly.
oh my
I
goodness.
hope they don't. I hope they don't do Daily
Give
Bugle,
honestly,
Peter.
give him a
He should be
mustache.
grizzly.
Just give him a mustache.
Yeah,
Just give him a
dude.
mustache.
He need a grizzly
You don't need
phase
a
right
full
No,
now.
beard.
because I was gonna say what's the name because he didn't even finish high school. I don't think because he was doing.
The GED. Yeah, he got to finish his
Yeah.
GED. But you paused again, D.
Bro, this shit only paused when I'm talking. Bro, okay, my fault. Yeah, at the end of the movie, he was getting his GED. He had all that shit
Yep.
at the end. So I only think he graduated from Midtown, whatever the fuck they go
No, he
to. So it
didn't.
was like, damn, like yeah, the Daily Bugle shit, like that's cool if he need bread, but he need to get this GED. He needs to like, yo, like he might end up going back to Doctor Strange, and be like, yo, my life in shambles, my nigga. I can't get a job nowhere. Like,
We gotta
Help me.
reverse
or
this.
he might put on the Spider-Man shit because he said they forget Peter Parker, but niggas might remember fighting with Spider-Man. Nobody just know who that is. So he go to Avengers Tower or something and work out a deal with Happy, like be like Nyle said, Fantastic Four get back. They end up getting the Avengers Tower, turn to the Baxter Building. Boom, he got a little internship, a little entry level job. But his life, I don't think they thought about that shit because this nigga is not living a good life right now.
Yo,
Dude, I think they're
Well,
gonna start the Baxter Foundation. I don't
got
think
to.
Marvel gonna take a traditional route. Like I seriously could see the next movie, like the next as soon as they could get to that Fantastic Four tie-in, I could legit see them starting the Baxter Foundation and Spider-Man is one of the students. Off rip. He like the one who lead it. And like that's a lot, yo, cause then that mean what? Do you get Franklin and his sister? Do you get them like next Fantastic Four movie? But going back to what I was saying with the contracts, even though I'm kind of getting a little bit more optimistic on Pedro Pascal staying for a while. I'm getting there. I'm working my way up to that. But you get him early. You get the kids in there early. Have them under the Baxter Foundation with um Tom Holland Spider-Man. And then you could even honestly, you could do your own title group. It don't have to be something from the comic books because I do feel like that's coming too. All of the groups, been the groups that's actually been groups in the comics, I think they gonna end up at some point getting to a point where they reverse that. I know we got Young Avengers coming, and that's gonna take care of a lot of characters, but I think they gonna get to a point where they gonna make like their own group, like how you got the Avengers, the X-Men, the Young Avengers. It's gonna be something specifically from the MCU. and it's probably gonna be around whatever they do at the actual Baxter building. I can see that though, D. I can see that.
Well,
Him going over the Fantastic Four.
Well, let me say this: Code Red came out of nowhere saying, "D got that Fisher Price router."
You see,
Dead
He
ass.
said he was connected.
yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So my
But
question is this: with this whole Spider-Man business, are we gonna get a Deadpool tie-in to Spider-Man? Because I know they have a comic book series together.
I don't think so.
It's another
The most they'll
question.
get is
Th-
probably Secret
No.
Wars. I feel
I
like.
hope not.
What?
It don't seem like it would make sense to do that. Like the characters are just too different. But I ain't gonna hold you. I can see it.
Well,
Like I can see Marvel trying to do it.
well, that's the thing. Even in the Deadpool Spider-Man series, they're two completely different characters. That's why they coincide so perfectly because Deadpool adapts to his surroundings. So honestly,
It's
I
just
think
Tom Holland. It just feel like you pitting a child with a serial, like just a, like it's like putting a child with Charlie Manson. It just seemed a little
yo,
off. Like,
this man out of all people to
but
say,
that's what it feel like. Like you putting Deadpool as psychopath. He just if he felt more like an adult, which if they gave us a movie where they made Tom Holland feel like he just don't feel like an adult.
now what if
Like
what if going forward they give us the what's homeboy name? He created everything. He passed away years ago.
Stan Lee.
Stan Lee. If they give Deadpool the Stan Lee effect, where he pops in the Spider-Man movies and say something dumb, or they have like a certain reaction, like he goes to a coffee shop and he says something stupid, like he knows that, because remember he goes to the TVA, he sees all the videos and stuff, and he says something like very dumb to Peter, not to like have him in a full movie, but like them dumb quirky moments. Like I feel like at this point you can give Deadpool the Stan Lee effect in all these movies because technically he calls himself "Call Me Marvel Jesus" and he's fixing the timeline. I feel like this would give him the ability to pop in and out these movies for like that. If it's like something serious, you throw Deadpool in for that quick joke and he dips out. I feel like that can hit going forward, and then 3-4 years down the line, you give us another Deadpool movie.
That's gonna be oversaturating the market though. That's gonna be a lot of Deadpool.
But not really. You get Deadpool in this movie, and then going forward, you throw him periodically, not all the MCU movies, just periodically. Like,
I think I feel like a lot of people grab it because command within his own. He has people from, so the people that around because he's a mutant technically.
Yo, I ain't hear nothing you just said.
Yeah, I ain't
repeat
catching none of that.
You gotta repeat that.
I was waiting on Terrence to go say some shit.
I was trying to
This
look
nigga
at
Code Red
yo,
said,
I
"Damn,
can't-
this shit lagging too. My shit good. Is it cool?
No,
It's
yo,
straight?
your mic, like it'll be like
It's not your
Deadpool.
internet. It's
I
your
think
mic.
it's your noise gate. Yeah, can you like? Is there if you go over to your settings? Is there another option for you for, like the noise gate? If you go down to voice and video, it'll be. Let me see, where is it at on here? Because I really do think that's your noise suppression underneath that. If you, mine is on none right now, so that way
Mine's
I
is
can
on
make
full.
sure that like. Yeah, like if that's what's making your volume cut up, because the cut up sound like when a noise gate is
Hello,
too high.
Tester.
Mhm.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Ain't break up yet.
All right.
It's
Now,
right. All right.
well, go ahead and go in your dialogue, and then we can test it for real.
Damn, I forgot what the hell I was talking about, man. What the hell was we just talking about?
Deadpool.
Oh,
Uh,
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
I think his success is coming from him being by himself and him being the focal point. I feel like it'll be hard to convey all of these stories when you know some Deadpool is most likely or probably going to get sprinkled in there and kind of minimize this whole entire thing because Deadpool automatically demands a certain type of attention. He demands like a movie. We don't want to see him in like ancillary, like different tidbit pieces sprinkled throughout. We need to see if somebody sees him on the screen, they want to be able to see him for a prolonged period of
Extended
time.
content.
Yes.
Sage. So you know how you couldn't get your thought across on where you left off. Correct said you was talking about how Meek Mills need to stay away from them Diddy parties.
We're not even gonna talk about that man's Meek. I don't even know. Supposedly it's
What was they calling
just
him?
rumors.
What was they calling him? Freak Mill?
I'm just saying he had them dreams and nightmares.
Okay.
Yo, you know when he says big fish in his songs in the Caribbean, big fish mean you on that fruity side or pony show type nigga.
Oh yeah, let's stay away from that one. We don't want to get canceled, even if for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Cream Casher's meat what? Yo.
Wow.
Cream
Wow. He called
Ain't
them
no
cream
way.
cashers instead of dream chasers.
Oh, man.
He might be saying, "Oh, he might
Cream
have
chasers.
missed the H." I think it's cream chasers. Yeah,
I know a
Ew.
cream
Crazy.
chaser.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What
I'm
this
something
nigga
of a cream chaser myself. Paul.
Yeah.
What?
So that meme, that Spider-Man meme. I'm something of a something myself.
Yeah, I smell like a third grader. My bad.
Yo, nigga said I'm something of a cream chaser myself.
Nigga said,
Oh my
Pause.
gosh.
yo.
Nah, Corey, you all good, bro. You all good. That's why.
Yes, thank you for your commentary.
That's why we in
We
IT.
always
We don't like that English stuff. But don't let me do it.
All right, so enough. Oh wait, go ahead.
Nah, I think y'all brought up a lot of valid points, but I just think that it's kind of like, even though the content is still good, it's kind of a mess when I think of Spider-Man. Like, I like it, but I just feel like, ooh, they gotta be careful, because it's like if you do go to direction of using Tom Holland, or if you do go to direction of using Tobey Maguire, it's like, I know a lot of fans, we would like to see what would come from that out of curiosity, but it's just like, when you think about the studios behind it, you got one studio that seem like they holding up Tom Holland and they comfortable doing that, and then you got this other studio where it's like, y'all can't make. DC has made better, like, more at this point. DC has made better movies than Sony has in the entire run that they have had. Like, it's only been the Spider. If we being a buck, it's only been the Spider-Man movies that's been like good.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the first two. The third one was teetering on ass gas. Andrew Garfield's, both of them was ass gas, but it was just because of how the villains.
Okay.
Lizard was cool in the first one, but Electro in the second one, how they did the Hobgoblin, even more fucking.
Well, okay.
That shit was like 2 smacks to the face.
Hold on. You comparing it to the whole DC films, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of a far stretch right there, Nyle. Because honestly, I would sit there and watch Madam Web 20 times before I go back and watch that atrocity of Flash and Aquaman. That's how bad those movies were.
That's fine,
But
but
those
they
are the
still
first
got
two.
better. They
Those are the
still got
two.
more movies that have, like, actually resonated with us.
Yeah.
The only DC movies that were good was the Batman series, the Christopher Nolan ones. That was it.
No,
Batman, the
Zack
Joker,
Snyder.
the Suicide Squad movie wasn't that bad. It probably could
The
be on the
second one.
same level as, like,
No.
Venom, the second one.
Okay, that's the only movie that DC got as of recent was that
Zack
James
Snyder.
Gunn. We're not going to talk about the Zack Snyder cut. We're going to talk. If you want to get real,
I'm talking about
you,
most of his Zack Snyder
Hold on.
cuts. The Superman movie, Man of Steel.
But, bro, Man of Steel.
That had a director's cut?
Man of Steel wasn't that bad.
No, Man of Steel was good.
Nah, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Batman vs Superman was ass. Even the director's cut.
Batman
was
versus
just ass.
Superman was teetering on ass, but
Yeah.
then you had the Zack Snyder cut for the Justice.
But that's the
I
thing.
think
You can't
really
count
was
that.
pretty good.
But you can't count
Yes,
that.
you can.
No, you
it
cannot.
was dropped. It was released.
But here's
Yes,
the
you
thing, though.
can.
No, you can only count the regular release that they gave us that was crap. That's the
That
one
one
you
was
gotta
bad.
count.
You can't only count that.
But did the
though.
Zack Snyder cut come out in theaters? We're talking about what came out currently in theaters.
Regardless, they
out?
have some movies. Can we not count Netflix movies now because they're not released in theaters?
But what I'm getting
No.
at, but
So we could count these
Sage,
movies. That's
Sage,
still the
no,
cuts.
you can't. You can't count the Zack Snyder cut because we were begging for
Even
that.
if you didn't,
We
though, I
had to
still
beg
feel
them.
like that. I still feel like DC made. Even if you did just count them, I still feel like it's been more. With don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say DC don't miss. Like DC miss a lot.
They miss a lot with their live action. They miss a lot. The only thing that DC don't miss with is their animated movies. They are always top tier. Their anime movies are always top tier. They always, honestly, they blow Marvel's animation out of the daggone water.
Thank you, DJ Cole Red,
got
for
good
agreeing with
stories.
me. I appreciate that.
You know what's crazy? The Zack Snyder Justice League joint wasn't even his original director's cut.
The 4-hour one,
It
you talking about the
wasn't.
one that they dropped?
The one that they dropped,
the one that dropped on HBO Max wasn't even his original joint because they came out and said that the Green Lantern was supposed to appear at the end, but they changed it to Martian Manhunter, and they said Green Lantern was actually it's supposed to be some other shit with the Green Lantern, but they was like the studio told them no, like this the budget we give you to put this shit out. Bam, that's why they used the Martian Manhunter. So
But no, Green Lantern movie might be the worst superhero movie that ever came out. I give you DC probably made the worst.
Even the recent Batman movie
Birds
too,
of Prey
though.
probably the worst shit I ever seen in my life.
Even the recent Batman movie, though. It's not bad. It's not bad. Green Lantern was ass.
You talking Sparkles, the vampire? Sparkles the vampire?
Robert Pattinson, the Batman wasn't that bad.
The only thing,
that was a good movie.
I'm gonna be real with you.
It was a good movie, and that was recent.
But my whole thing is with that movie, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Only for the simple fact the acting was not on par.
Is it better than Madam Web?
Absolutely not. I'm joking.
Shut up. My
Is it better than Madam Web?
They're on the same,
answer that?
They're on the same wavelength.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Hold on.
Nah, bro. You a bold-faced liar. You a bold-faced liar.
Yo, I got a group of folks that will say the same thing. I got a group of folks. But
nah.
My only thing is, the only thing I really liked about that Batman movie is that they really tapped into the detective side. You actually see him break down. Yeah. That's the one thing I really enjoyed about that movie. The fight choreography, but
he was
it was more story driven, yeah.
But the thing is, if this is supposed to be
year one, that nigga.
You got that right. My thing is, but year one Batman is like, besides the detective work, he's bodying dudes, like accidentally, like really hurting them. They didn't really show that. Like year one Batman,
it felt like it though. When he was fighting people, it felt like it. He was beating that scene with in the tunnel. It was like, all right, yeah, like, but that was like this dude, he fighting them. I mean, he not like you felt like that person got hurt from what happened. It didn't feel like, oh, okay, this is just some like dancing fake choreograph. It didn't feel like that. I don't feel like, at least.
It was like watching John Wick 3 or 4, whichever one they're on. Like that's how I felt like with the choreography. It was kind of telegraphed. I'm gonna be honest. It felt telegraphed to me. Like you see, like honestly, like when you're watching Batman,
it's not Madam Web. It's not Madam Web.
The Batman on comparison to Madam Web is nuts.
It is not Madam Web.
That shit is nuts.
Not Madam Web, but that ending for Batman, like when the trailer when he was looking up with all that mud on him, I'm like, oh, he must have tussled with one of the big ones in Gotham. That nigga was saving lives, covered in dirt. And then he was just fighting like 3-4 niggas on the ledge, and then he looking up at a fucking helicopter. I'm like, yo, y'all just really deceive niggas.
But I feel like that kind of played into the story.
I never said
because he was young. That was the first version of him.
I thought they said he was doing this shit for 3 years.
But
nah, 2 years.
He's still new in the game. He was still new in the game.
It's still fairly new. I think it was 2 years. If it's ass, he gonna make sure he get his 1-2 off.
That's why he was coming crazy.
But my whole thing is, I never said I liked Madam Web. We was trashing it last week. I never said I liked it, but I'm saying
you putting the same amount of trash on the Batman, Robert Pattinson, as you did last week, Madam Web.
Bruh, it was not a good movie. Overall,
you didn't answer the question.
What?
Are you putting the same amount of trash that you put on Madam Web on the Batman, Robert Pattinson?
Yes, that can go right in the trash can with Madam Web.
Wow. In the same trash can, or is that going in like recycling? I mean, there's a difference in the trash, bro.
Okay. If we got that blue bin for the trash and that green bin for recycling bin, Madam Web in the trash, Batman that's in the recycling bin. I'll say that. But they're not. It wasn't a great Batman movie. Overall, it was not. I'm gonna be honest. It was okay, but it did not like live up to the Christopher Nolan Batman.
Off
To me.
off
I'm
of
be
that
honest.
simple thing though, DC
Yeah, but
is
that's
already
like a
cooking
cinematic
DC is
master.
already cooking Sony. Outside of the animated movies of Tom Holland, which technically Marvel got half of the rights to at this point in time. That's all they cooking in for Sony. At least DC is actually making
Yeah.
some live action movies, and hopefully with this James Gunn, as being the helm of the projects and everything like that, he could come in and create a better direction for them. But god damn it, to say that DC has been on par live action wise with Sony when they've
They
been
just been
producing
missing.
ass gas for the greater part of 10 years now. Straight ass gas. I don't even bring up Morbius. This Craven the Hunter animal
That
loving
movie was
ass nigga.
so bad.
Madam Web, ass gas. Ass gas. I'm tired
Is
of it.
Morbius better than Madam Web?
Oh fuck. You arguing asses
But they
at this
That's
both
point in time.
they
crazy.
We
they
might as well
both
go to the
are
strip
from.
club. We have an easier discussion then.
I'm
Bro,
just
if I
saying.
wanted somebody to get out my house, like if I want somebody to leave my crib, I'm gonna put on Madam Web or Morbius. They be like, "Oh, it's time for me to go."
Yeah. No,
Like,
like
I'm
I
not welcome.
get that. Yeah, I
Like,
got it.
like
This
both them
ain't.
shits is that bad, but Madam Web was like, "Yo, my nigga,
This is crazy.
like whoever said put this shit out, you should never have a job again."
Yo, like,
That's
boy.
dude. That's crazy because Morbius was that bad that like the fact that you like want to up the badness. Like, how do you even do that? Like, yo, because Morbius was terrible. Like that movie was. I was like, yo, I can't. I don't normally turn off a superhero movie, but like I was ready to turn that. I'm like, I can't do this. This is painful to watch.
Yo, Corred said, yo, if you put these movies on, man, you could have just told me you wanted me to leave.
For me to leave,
Bro.
yeah.
Nigga, like that shit is on. And again,
Damn.
I'm supposed to trust the Tom Holland movies. The one thing Sony hasn't been able to fuck up this whole entire time, for the most part.
Now,
And you want me to have more creative direction in this nigga when they haven't even proved to anybody in the past. Again, I'm gonna repeat this number again: 10 years since they've been able to come up with a movie that's been somewhat thoroughly enjoyed throughout the whole entire movie. Tom Holland is ass as Spider-Man. DJ Code Red is great. That's the most to a T comic adaptation that we could see of the Spider. Outside of what Derek was saying earlier, where he wishes that Tom Holland was a little bit more of a nerdy Spider-Man. Obviously, they didn't show it enough,
he said he's not
and I can
believable.
understand that.
He said he's
You
not
couldn't even
believable.
watch them shits because he's not believable. I feel like he's the most believable out of all of them. From the
Who?
Spider-Man that I grew up watching, Tom Holland. From the Spider-Man that I grew up watching,
Honestly, I could say this. This Tom Holland's believable for this generation of youth around that time. Because you got to think about it. Tobey Maguire looked like a grown man in high school.
nah,
I would
Toby
say
Andrew
looked
Garfield-
like a grown
Andrew
man.
was young.
But no.
Toby still
But
looked
think
young.
about it. Think about it. Yes, he looked young. Like you gotta think about it. Us, we look like how we supposed to when we're in high school. Now you got children that look like Tom Holland still looking like they should be in middle school in high school. That's what I'm getting at. This generation is like they're looking younger and younger, but they're aging faster. It has been shown. The last millennium.
Yeah, I get what
Wait,
you're
'cause what's the
saying.
name? In Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire, he was done with high school, wasn't he? Because he he was in high school, but wasn't Green
It was
Goblin
like
at his
senior
appointment?
year.
It was
Yeah,
like
he was
junior,
finishing up
senior.
high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had moved out type shit. So he still had that like senior in high school, but I'm still grown look to him. But we ain't seen Tom Holland with a fucking lab coat on, not even a pair of goggles. This nigga don't even do shit scientifically.
Well, he was still technically
He not
like,
even a grown.
he was technically like a sophomore in high school, so that's my whole thing. Like he's still aging technically. He's still aging technically.
You right, because he was gone
do
for
feel
5
like
years.
Derek right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So wait,
Yeah, he was still young.
This what throws me off was Ned and Ned and MJ blip too.
Yeah, they were.
I would say
Okay,
all of them was blipped. Everybody had in that shit was blipped.
Most of
that's
them
a,
was blipped.
that's the only way that they can make it work with them aging, like how they look. That's the only way they could have made that work because if you leave Ned and Zendaya still there for 5 years, at that point
They look nothing. They
nope.
young, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They young. They look. I don't like that. As the, I guess I say this. The first Spider-Man, I would like his youthfulness didn't bother me, but like now that we moving to college and like got your own apartment, it's like, bro, this dude need to grow like T said, he need to grow a
At
mustache or
least that.
something. Like,
At least that.
oh,
Little dirty
he
stuff.
just
He,
looked too young. He just looked too young at this point. Like even for the story, it's just like I can't. Like I want him to look like Tobey Maguire now. Like I want him to be at that age and that look that Tobey was in the first one. At least look like that. But he just looks so childish.
yo, I got a question for y'all. This blip shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
do y'all think they really played it hard enough? Because there was a scene in Spider-Man where everybody's come back and like, oh, after the blip, everybody appeared where they were when they were blipped away, and it showed the little marching band in the basketball game, and that was supposed to be like, I guess, supposed to be like a little comedy aspect of it, like everybody came back. But you got to think like it was niggas in airplanes and shit. Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Don't.
So
Nah,
it's
you
like
not.
the blip, like that movie turned the blip into some comedy shit. Whereas, yo, like niggas came back 5 years later after where they was. It should be niggas falling from the sky.
Oh my
The city should
goodness.
be
Yeah.
like, yo, it's niggas appearing everywhere. That could have played a good part of the movie. Like, yo, Spider Man got a lot of shit to fix.
That would be very bad, and Disney would have shut that whole thing down. You can't have people falling out the sky, falling to their death. You can't just
You could
Well,
allude to it. You could
I
allude
feel
to
like
it.
they
Oh, we lost him.
Cut out again, D.
could have. I feel like my bad. I feel like the blip could have been just taken a little bit more seriously. Like niggas are going 5 years, and the way you show it is a marching band reappearing during the middle of a basketball game, and that's just your explanation. It's like, yo, like I feel like Marvel got to stop downplaying all this shit these villains be doing. Like the shit Thanos did was type evil, my nigga. Like there should have been
Yeah.
some
I
more
think
weight to
that's
that.
just because of the rush. The Robert Downey Jr., I'm not doing this anymore. And they really got nervous, I think, about all of that. And so everything has just been rushed. It's just rush, 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 rush. You can't even blame COVID on it because they started doing this before COVID. It's like I agree with you 100%. I feel like the Spider-Man movie definitely shows you why they should have fleshed out what the consequences of the blip was way more. That would have been way better movies. I
Bro,
skip an
facts. That
Ant-Man movie.
nigga.
Give me a movie. Give me I don't we don't need Ant-Man. Give me a movie where y'all going over exactly what was all of the things that went wrong due to the blip. That would have been fire. Like y'all trying to like and then y'all want to go more adult. Y'all talking about that's the part that bugged me is where did they even in their mind get the conception to do Blade if they was trying to water everything down and they knew they was Disney? Like why did you even say the name Blade? And I know with Deadpool we gonna kind of get like we will finally get like R again in an actual movie setting. And I know that with Echo we got it before, but it's like y'all already got all of these narratives that y'all in the middle of. Y'all all of the stuff that was kind of grim, like you said, the blip is already like we over it or like we moving on to the next thing. It's like, bruh, I don't know, but they do gotta
Yo,
start like fleshing and like get a little darker. Go like the DC route a little bit, like a
I feel
little
like
bit. Just give
with
us
the
some more
blip,
mature stuff.
I think
It
Kevin
froze
about
again,
to.
D.
He froze again, D. I think Kevin about to. Shit though. I think they got the Daredevil. I mean, yeah, Daredevil coming out too, which I believe is gonna be TV, which will keep up with that rated R. I feel like they're gonna start going a more darker route, especially with the how they go the Doctor Strange route. Going
yeah.
to know what the tone is. Whatever
I
Doctor
mean,
Strange 3 is gonna be.
I was gonna
But
say
go
one
ahead.
thing before we switch to the next topic. Like Niall said, a blip movie. Like you could have had your street level Avengers type movie. Like yo, when the blip happened, Kingpin took over the city, and then you got Spider Man, Daredevil, some other key niggas teaming up. Like yo, what's going on? Was good. That way you ain't gotta rush no multiverse shit in. That way you ain't gotta worry. Like you can take your time. Like you got Spider Man, Daredevil, cool. You could have made your $1 billion there. You ain't have to do you know what? Fuck it. We finna bring in Mysterio, talk about a multiverse. We finna do this and this, and just having all that extra shit. Like you could just kept it grounded. But no, the blip happened and niggas is taking trips overseas. Like my nigga, New York should be in shambles right now.
Right.
With half the people just snapped away. Like New York City, my nigga. Like you
Yeah,
could have
like
played that
what?
shit crazy.
I agree.
It was 5 years. I mean, they did go into it, but probably not your standard. They went into it with the Captain America and the Winter
They went
Soldier and
into it as
stuff.
far as PG-13 will let you.
Gentlemen, I'll be right
Yeah.
back. Give me
That's
like
it.
5.
Got you.
Hmm.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, oh damn, that nigga did leave that fast. My fault. I was gonna ask what y'all niggas started that Superman symbol.
the
The
Superman
first one you
symbol.
sent scared me.
Yeah.
I,
Oh, the
my
suit.
heart dropped. My heart fell. It ain't
The
even just
suit.
dropped. My heart was in my toes. My heart was in my
Bruh,
toes. When you sent that first one, I'm like, bro, I don't even know. I might move. This don't even feel right no more. This is I was distraught. I was
James
legit
Gunn was finna get a
distraught.
personalized letter from me.
Yo,
Like, fam. I'm like,
take
oh
this
my
shit back.
gosh. But I
After the
do
man
like
the
the
suit.
symbol.
Would y'all like a more family friendly approach to the Superman story, or would y'all like a more dark, gritty type of story like
Because we
what's
don't
going
get
on?
none of it from Marvel. I look forward to it from DC.
Yo, I'm not saying it gotta be dark and gritty. I just don't want Superman. I understand he the farm nigga from Kansas. Don't have him being some fucking Channing Tatum Captain America type nigga where he fucking posing at the top of the Daily Planet with his hands on his hips and his cape blowing. Like, damn, let the nigga cuss. Let him grab a beer or something. Let him have to smack somebody around. Like, don't do no punk ass shit. Like, let him know that I'm a cool nigga, but don't just fuck with me, right? But it's like back to the symbol, my fault. I feel like since they doing the Kingdom Come symbol, and James Gunn said these are the characters that's gonna be played for a while. Like they got a good 10 years with this nigga. So Kingdom Come, with the gray hair and all that shit, suits could change anyway. So I see the storyline they're going for, I guess. But I still think that symbol type trash.
This is why everybody like Batman better. DJ Corez posted up in the chat,
I mean,
man.
I get that.
And the crazy thing is they
No,
gonna
that's
do a whole nother Batman too. DC about that, but I feel like they about to run into the same kind of problem that Sony running into, no cap, which is they just want
yes,
to put their hands in so many different things where you gonna have two different Batmans, two different Jokers, no Crisis on Infinity Earths anytime soon. Try and streamline this whole entire process. You just trying to make as much money as possible, which I understand had successful entities in the Batman with Robert Pattinson and the Joker with I can't remember his name, um,
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. I and now you're gonna have to come up with a whole new Batman. Who's gonna play that Batman, bro?
Bro, the thing, I before I get to that,
John Reacher.
no, I
That's who
seen a
I've been
nigga that
hearing.
they could have a nigga in
Oh, I could
in that
see him.
show 1920. Y'all see that TV show 1923?
Nah,
Yes, I think I have. I might not. I know what you're talking about though.
But it's a nigga in that show. And he got a scene where you like, yo, this is the perfect Bruce Wayne. And then just his voice, you like, yo, this nigga be the perfect Batman. He like 33, he's 6'2", he like perfect for the role. But I was gonna say, like Robert said, they got fucking Robert Pattinson Batman. They got this new DC universe. They got fucking Joker Fogo de Chao coming out. They got all this bullshit. What's this shit called? Fogo de Chao, Brazilian restaurant. Fole
yeah,
de Oh, they
That's
got
what
three
made me
different
laugh.
universes, bro. They got three different universes coming out, and it's like, yo, my nigga, like, y'all could just give us. Can y'all just give? I understand DC, bro. DC got the rights to every single fucking character at Warner Bros. You mean to tell me
Yo,
we can't get one congruent universe where y'all could just put these stories together and be like Robert Pattinson Batman? Yo, my nigga, for what we got going on right now, you done. Get out of there. Yo, Joker, thanks for the $1 billion you made. You done, my nigga. Get out of there. Because we finna do this one joint where we gonna have the next 15 years of just fluid stories, and then we might do some multiverse shit to separate us from Marvel. But for right now, we need one storyline. It's enough of this extra bullshit, bro.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going in that direction. And then the other part is the characters that James Gunn got. So like the ones that we familiar with, Batman, Superman. But beyond that, are they gonna be? Because the last that I heard, it was a lot of obscure characters that people don't know about that he was gonna be doing. Now
Yeah.
I don't know whether that got scrapped or if that's still the same thing. Green Lantern also is supposed to be in there somewhere. Um,
Guy
He
Gardner.
doing he doing the one group. I can't remember what it was, but we talked about it before. And Derek was like, "I don't
Uh,
want a movie with these niggas."
yeah,
yeah,
Monster
and I kind of
Squadron or
share.
something.
it's
Yeah,
the
I kind of share that sentiment.
the Creature Commandos is the
Oh
first
yeah,
movie coming out for DCU, but it's animated. I'm like, my nigga, you gonna start off a universe with an animation that we ain't even got a trailer for, and
Well, it's
20
what
and the
they excel in.
but that's the
it
thing,
is.
You know, you sometimes
2025
got to start with what you good at.
bro. Okay, you're right, but I mean, damn, my nigga, but it's like you
Cause
start off with
please
Creature
don't.
Commandos,
Yeah, I
and then
know.
you got a
Nobody know or
Superman movie
care.
with a you got fucking Hawk Girl, Green Lantern. Like I understand what y'all going for, but it's like when Batman and Flash gonna be in this universe? Like we just I don't know what's going on with DC,
Got
but
teased
I
with
mean
that. Yeah.
They
this
don't
shit about to
slow
be
walk
numbers.
it. They ain't bring up no Batman, no Martian Manhunter, no goddamn all the other niggas.
So
And it's enough
Shazam,
of that
my,
Joker
possibly.
shit though. Like we don't had even Robert Patterson Batman got a Joker that he talked to at the end. They was like, yeah, that was confirmed to be the Joker. I'm like, yo, we got a Joker movie. We got that Joker. We got
Yeah.
James Gunn better use somebody like Clayface. That's what we need to see. Some
I
Clayface
would
shit.
like that.
Some other shit. Like a I don't know, bro. Like I'm tired of this Joker nigga. Like I get it.
Clayface is fire. You could do a standalone movie with Clayface for real, or you could have him in a movie with a Batman.
Cause
Like
can't
that
he
would
shape
be,
shit and shit? He
yeah,
can shape
yep.
shit, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We need a Clayface movie and we need a Batman with some bruh.
Which
How hard is it to get this nigga white eyes like Deadpool? I'm tired of seeing niggas wearing mascara in broad daylight. Like you gotta apply that shit, my nigga. Like, come
Yeah.
on, just get a nigga some eyes.
would y'all want this Batman to actually have a Robin? We've never. I don't think we've ever seen that in live action yet in any of the
No,
Batman.
No,
No.
actually,
fuck.
he
It's
never
too
had
much. It might be
a
too
Robin
much.
in the Christopher Nolan project. He never had one.
Nah, but before that he did. He
Yeah,
had a Robin and Batwoman in the
yeah,
night. What was that? The
Oh yeah,
90s.
yeah.
yeah.
But he
Bruh,
never he.
Robin got to be like 20 something though. Don't give us no teenager out here fighting grown men, bruh. Don't do that.
He said, "Nah, bump Robin."
Go straight to, if anything,
Now,
do Nightwing.
You know what?
Just
Give
go to
us
it.
give us
Just tell me a
Damian
story with
Wayne,
Nightwing.
Robin.
We know he was Batman before.
My
Yeah,
I
whole
want to
do
thing,
see the
Damian
Killing Joke.
Wayne.
like
I
if
want to
we,
see the
Yeah,
Killing
Damian
Joke.
Wayne.
Damian
like,
Ooh,
Wayne, and
Damian
then
Wayne. If they do that, that'd be cold.
bruh, because then
Oh
you have
God,
a
you said
Robin.
Killing Joke.
Yes, do the Killing Joke, please.
But I mean,
Well,
Zack Snyder did that
well,
shit already with what's his name? Jared Leto's Joker apparently killed Dick Grayson. That's why Batman didn't have any
Oh,
more Robins.
we never
That's why you
yeah,
had
have
but
the
to.
he didn't. They
but
story
didn't
that was
though.
in the
show it.
monologue though. We never really saw it happen.
Yeah.
Now the issue with the Killing Joke is the portion where he takes out Oracle. There's a lot of undertone that people know happened, but we don't see it happen in the comics. Now, at that point, do you bring it to
Oh
the live
yeah, I
screen? You
hope
know what I'm
not.
talking about.
No,
Like
no. You
he,
just
You
tell it
don't.
just like the comic
You
book.
don't have to. You don't have to bring it to the live screen. You don't have to bring
No,
that
just
aspect
tell
to
it
but
know
just
that
like the
it's
now,
comic,
now,
there.
like
now,
the.
hold
It's
up,
not a
hold
horror
up.
movie.
But that's the thing. They probably might do that because it's a lot of adaptations that they're doing that. Like in Dune, they in the original film they didn't have all that extra stuff, but in part two, there's a lot of nonsense going on. It's like literally Game of Thrones on crack, literally. Family on family,
If it's a
keep it in the
horror
family
movie,
type of thing.
if you did Killing Joke is like a horror movie, maybe. But outside of that, it's like I don't think I think the comic tell the story just like the comic book did because it's tactful. Like I hate when they do. I don't really like all of the untactful things to characters you already know is evil. Like remember No Country for Old Men? I love the
Hmm.
main villain in No Country for Old Men cuz it's to the point like when you get introduced to the character, you like all right, this dude cold, like he a evil dude to the point where by the time you get to the end it's like they could pretty much not show what he do and you know what he did.
Hmm.
Like all of those things is already implied. It just to me it seemed more tactful when you do that. If you take the Joker and have him assault Barbara Gordon on top. Like, shooting her is enough. Spoiler alert, I guess, but shooting her is enough. Like, you ain't gotta do. You don't have to go through all of the details. Even if you want, like, you could allude to it like they did in the comic book, but
Even if you allude to it, people are not going to take it well. Especially in this day and time. Like, if they did the Killing Joke 10, 15 years ago, it could work. But even if you allude it, people are still going to have a problem with it because...
I think you can do it now. You just have to be very careful with it. You have to like put a disclaimer in there. You can be careful by notifying people. Disclaimer. There will be some scenes that might trigger you. Make it a horror. Make it all of these things. It's not like we haven't seen the format already, such as Game of Thrones, and that's one of the most highly viewed shows ever. To be honest with you, with super duper accolades from multiple different people throughout the world, type of thing. So it's not like people aren't accustomed to seeing these things, but you kind of get the understanding that this is gonna come about in these medieval type of times. This is the reality of the situation, and the reality of the comic book was this is what happened. The same thing with Mark and Anissa from Invincible. Do you really think they're gonna cut corners when that scene comes up? Yes. I don't think so, because that was the main aspect of it. They might allude towards it, but you're still gonna understand in the grand scheme of things, that's what happens. Even with Snowfall, you had a moment in the first season where they went to get money from the nigga because the nigga stole from him. The nigga went in there.
Hey, let's just stop because that scene I had to.
He went in there and did some things, and that was also a widely publicized show. It's not like people aren't accustomed to seeing these.
My man said, "You taking too long. Let me go handle this." Homeboy, like, is he doing what I think he's doing?
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's the same way that I would feel about seeing like the Joker do that to Barbara Gordon. Like, it's just kind of like, really?
Yeah, and it's supposed to. It's supposed to. It's supposed to.
Can't have her in nothing else. I wouldn't believe it after that. You can't have her in nothing else after that. Like,
what you mean?
I wouldn't want to see it. Like, I just have the image of that whole thing happening. It just would imprint on the character. Like, okay.
But he only beat her with a crowbar, though.
Nah,
he did more.
He did more than that. He did more.
In the comics, he did more.
Yeah.
We can't say that.
I mean, they not gonna. It's a movie. They not gonna have this nigga. They not gonna give no cheek clapping sound. They're just gonna leave the bitch on the floor. Like, they just gonna leave her, and then they gonna have like. We haven't seen Joker do no foul shit. Like, we seen the nigga. Because you gotta think about it, bro. We see Joker in movies. And he be having henchmen. Like how? Like how?
I don't think we can.
Yeah, we cannot say the R word on Twitch.
No. I was saying we ain't seen the Joker slap nobody. We ain't seen him fuck a nigga. But it's like, bro, we ain't seen him wield the crowbar and beat nobody to death. It's like, bro, give us a movie. We ain't gotta show him clapping cheeks, but like at least show the nigga like doing something crazy. He ain't gotta rape her. At least beat her till she paralyzed.
That's too.
We can't say the R word.
I said that shit a little too loud.
Just say essay. Just say essay.
We can't say the R word.
You can say essay.
What am I supposed to say?
Say SA. Just say SA.
Yeah. That's like the traditional one to use for streaming. I say.
Yeah. But I think that they can still be able to convey it, but obviously it's a terrible atrocity of a thing for them to convey fully. You don't have to convey it fully though. You can allude towards it in certain frames of mind so that people can understand. At least that's what's happening, and then go to another aspect.
They can give us a Red Hood situation. Just beat her with a crowbar, shoot her in the back, and call it a day after that point. They can leave the essay out of it. Just leave the essay out of it.
I agree.
Leave the essay
pull
out
all
of
the
it.
stops. Pull out all the stops. That way niggas can grow to hate the Joker. You know what's weird, bro? Niggas love villains. Cool. But people is like, yo, the Joker the best. We gotta do some shit where niggas is like, oh, this really what the
This
Joker
nigga's
about. He don't
evil.
give a.
It's about
He's
yeah, I
a
get what you're
villain. He's
saying.
actually evil.
But I
He
feel
can't.
like you could do that with
No,
alluding to that specific
Because
part.
if you okay, let's say he walk in on Barbara and she looking up something for Batman, she typing, I gotta find this, and then you just see a crowbar, bam, back her upside the temple. Then you see Joker just beating her down. It's like, okay, he just beat her up. You add in that other element, all that extra shit. You add an emotional aspect. This movie gonna be talked about. Now people be like, oh, the Joker is terrible. Like you have to have
But if
people
you
hate.
allude to that, that don't do the same thing. If she in the
No,
corner after all of that happened, and Batman is like, "What's up?"
I'm not
and
saying
she
you
like,
gotta
"This
show
is
the
what
scene.
happened."
Yeah, I'm not saying you gotta. She in the corner,
Okay,
no, nigga,
but
like
just you saying it's got to be established that it's part of what happened. Like you
yes.
have to have those elements. I'm not disagreeing with that.
You can't just be like, oh, he beat her. Like every movie, some girl getting beat. Like, what is the? This is the Joker. This is a nigga that, and then you have to understand that those bring into question why does Batman not kill this nigga? Why is he always breaking out of jail and Batman not doing shit? If he done essayed a girl, he done beat the girl on your team, he done killed your old Robin. Like, what is going on with Batman's mind where he's not stooping down to a level of you should have been killed this nigga? Like, that's gonna be a question that they should
And
be
Yeah,
that's
asked.
probably play
that's the
out really.
main
The actor got
juxtaposition of his character
kill on
too.
that role.
Well, my
That's
thing
the
is,
Yeah.
main juxtaposition of his character that whole
Cole Red-
entire time is why he doesn't go that
Well,
step to kill this person.
Cole Red left it with a question. Why can't you love villains? You can love villains, like, but not love the crazy ones like me.
Yeah, I mean, nobody loved Ted Bundy.
I'm just saying, me, Killmonger is probably one of my favorite villains because at the same time, like, yeah, he's a villain, but was he wrong for doing what he was doing? Was he wrong?
I feel like hate is a
I can't with this
stronger,
man.
more
I
impactful
can't
emotion.
with this man. I can't with.
Yeah,
Yo, Cole Red is
it's
wild.
going crazy. I
He telling
think
the truth though.
hate is a stronger emotion that you could get a lot more people invested in. If you create a
Yo,
Joker in which people just utterly despise, that's probably why I haven't necessarily liked all of these Jokers outside of the Heath Ledger Joker. Outside of that one, everybody else, they've been just like ass cat for the most part. So I feel
like
like go
Even
ahead.
with Heath Ledger.
He wasn't really a cutthroat type of nigga.
he
I mean,
wasn't.
nah,
I could get what Derek's saying. You gotta make the villain so that way it don't like because there's this element with villains where it's like you cheer for them, and it's like stop making the villain where you got that element where you cheering for them, and it's kind of like yo, I really want this person wiped out. Like I don't know if y'all had saw it, but we had talked about it before on the podcast. Monster, the anime Monster. Johan is evil. He is evil. You don't like this guy, and it's like it make the show better. It like make all of the drama better because it's like everybody wants to see this guy get taken down. So like you locked in on the show thinking about it from that perspective. Make the Joker like that because even Heath Ledger Joker, to Derek's point, I mean I don't know, maybe y'all agree or disagree with me, but it's like he was almost too likable. Like that's the only drawback that I could say about Heath Ledger's Joker. Is like
Bro.
I don't want to like this guy, and he's sitting here wilding, and it's exciting, and I like it. It's more thrilling than it is sinister.
And people
Because
love
you gotta
the
look
line,
at it
why
this
so
way, my bad.
serious? Like he has catchphrases. Why so serious?
Mhm.
Like
Stevie Johnson was wearing that at the game, pulling it
Yeah.
up.
Bro,
Remember?
you looking at two ways. We getting a Joker movie as a fucking musical.
I'm not mad
Who
about
would
it.
have thought a nigga that could like?
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
And then, but just look at it this way: if Heath Ledger's Joker, remember that scene where they was on the ferry? You had the two different ferries, and he was telling them they got the choice to blow up each ferry or whatever. Like, if you really wanted to have this Joker like really get under Batman's skin, both of them should just blew up. Like it was gonna blow up regardless. Like
He burned
one
$1
gonna blow up
billion.
at this time. I'm just saying, like, I feel like what do you say? He burned $1 billion because he's a dick. But
And then
he
he
burned
said,
all
yeah.
that bread
He said
But
he
it's
was
like,
dope
bro,
and
like-
why he was liked.
to show that evil side. Both of them fairies should have blown up at the same exact time to show like it don't matter who pressed the button, all y'all was dead anyway. But I mean,
that's the Joker.
Yeah.
That's the Joker. You froze up again, D.
give it
See, my thing
I
is, if
show
we
that he
get-
had a. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like if you, before giving us a Killing Joke movie, if you really want to get under people's skin, give us, before touching into the whole barber scene in Killing Joke, give us the Red Hood. Us savagely seeing him savagely beat Jason Todd, just to give us like a little step into that, to make us really hate Joker, and then give us the Killing Joke movie. So that way it eases people. It's not like we get right into it. Nah, he's 20 straight minutes, he's beating the mess out of Jason Todd.
Even an
Damn,
original
wait,
story that would be like a prelude. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at that. They could do an original movie that I don't think they already kind of did with the Joker. So I mean, we've already seen that it can be successful. But like the Joker that we're describing, I wouldn't even be mad if they just did an original story, and that led into a Killing Joke. But like you had that beginning story where it's like, yo, this is, and it's Batman facing him, and it's just kind of like, yo, dude is the real deal. And by the time the movie end, you going into it like, you know, they got a cliffhanger or whatever, letting you know that a second movie is coming, and then we get the rumors and everything that's Killing Joke, and it's just kind of like you sitting there like, yo,
I'm gonna say this.
he about to be a demon.
I
I would be cool with that.
I hope they don't give us the ending like the Killing Joke, where it ends off with him with that joke with Batman and they're both laughing. I don't want that.
Yeah, no.
I don't want that.
No, it won't be
Like that was the
It'd be a
biggest
unique ending.
letdown for me when it came to the Killing Joke, was Joker did all that and you just like have a joke with him after. Come on, like Batman in itself, like that's what goes back on where he sticks to his morals. Like everybody loves that, where he doesn't kill nobody. But nah, that's why we need to bring in Damian Wayans, because Damian Wayans, before he had that whole idea like his father, where it took a while for him to break him into that. The man said, if that was Damian would have offed him with a quickness. You did that to my homie? Nah, you gotta go. You need to have, that's when you need to bring in somebody like Damian Wayans. Like, that would be perfect for leading into a Robin. Like, I heard that he did this to Oracle, and you let this man live. Everybody's questioning your morals and what you do, compared to you letting people, I'm just going to break their arm and send them to Arkham. And a month later, they break out and they're doing the same stupid stuff, killing women and children. Come on, son. That's my
why hasn't that nigga gotten the needle?
We will never know.
They don't believe in any executions in comic book world. There's not a single comic book I can think of where there's like, yo, we gonna lethal inject him.
I don't know, bro. Did y'all see that video I sent you? That little short, that YouTube short.
No, we didn't get.
I sent that's the nigga that everybody was saying should be playing Batman. That the nigga from 1923. That nigga, bro, he would be a good Batman. I feel like Alan Richardson, his Batman too damn big, too damn stiff.
Is that the dude that's Reacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is really.
He could play
massive.
He could play Shazam or something, but that nigga as Batman, like, what the fuck? Like, everybody gonna know Bruce Wayne? What the fuck are you doing in that suit, nigga?
So I had a quick question before we finally conclude on the night. With James Gunn taking over the DCEU now, do we erase Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Ezra as Flash,
everything
as Shazam? Do we just like start back fresh?
It's really annoying.
And when we do that, do we keep our current Suicide Squad that's under James Gunn? That movie was amazing.
You probably could.
You can't, because they already showed, and that's what. Well, if he already keeping Amanda Waller as Viola Davis, which is very confusing.
Yep, I like.
And the thing is,
she's so ruthless.
But they put. Fuck that. You got to recast everybody, money. You can't just, we're going to recast Superman, do all this, and keep the same Amanda Waller with the same people, because in that universe, what's that nigga name that was going against John Cena as Peacemaker? What Idris Elba play?
Was that Deathstroke or was that
Deathshot?
No, that was Will Smith. Who did Idris Elba play? Bloodsport, right?
Bloodsport.
Yeah, there it is.
Bro, Bloodsport's intro was he put Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet. You can't have that nigga be in the DCU and then introduce a brand new Superman that's been in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet. It's like, damn, my nigga, like your first entry to the movie, we already know a nigga already bodied you.
Well, hold on though. They can still keep the Suicide Squad as they are. The Superman movie, when they introduce him, could be before that point. And then later on, they can make reference to it. Like how we got the timeline with the MCU where Captain Marvel comes out later but is placed in the 1990s before everything happened for the Avengers starting up. They can do that. Because honestly, that Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn did was to the T perfect. Perfect.
That shit was ass.
No, it was not. Come on, man.
That shit was ass. No. What are you talking about?
So you're saying that's better than the previous one that they had?
Both of them shits was ass.
Nah. What was so terrible about this?
No, I kind of like the second one.
The second one really
the second one was
just
good.
am not big on the like lore of Suicide Squad personally, so that's why it
what it is.
Personally turned me away. Nope, you froze again, dude.
Brandon Sklenar for Batman though.
I was just saying, I'm just over this goofy ass shit. Like, enough of the Harley Quinn. Like shit don't be serious in these movies. Like, we fought a fucking starfish with a polka dot nigga, and the only nigga that lived was Bloodsport and fucking Peacemaker and a rat bitch. You mean to tell me the nigga with the polka dots died, and the bitch with the rats didn't?
But homie with the
polka dots, what's going on here?
But here's the thing though, what I like about what James Gunn did. He picked characters that were not well known, like that's not really used a lot in the comics. You can then off them in like their own big way, and then just keep the core people. Like Harley Quinn, she's not gonna die. The Red Girl, I don't know who she really is. It's I guess it was just like flip of a coin. And then Bloodsport, you got to keep him going for a little bit.
But you look at Peacemaker, they having a season 2.
Oh,
but they had Aquaman, Ezra Miller. They had them at the end of that season. So it's like, yo, like, James Gunn, if you're going to reboot this shit, my nigga, reboot it all so we not fucking confused. Now you're going to have Peacemaker with Henry Cavill Superman, with what's the name? Aquaman. Unless you're doing an Elseworlds version and say this is still separate. But it's like, you can't keep doing all of this shit like Viola Davis, John Cena, Idris Elba. Like, what the fuck?
They only show, but in that cutscene, they only show Aquaman and, like, their face, Aquaman and Flash. They only show their face. Everybody else, you see their silhouette. So they can still recast somebody in this new DCEU and still let that rock. My whole thing is they're going to have to just stick with Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller at that point.
Are they keeping with Aquaman?
Ezra Miller can't stay if he's been accused of all of this
hold up,
harassment, all of this shit.
Then that's saying that Josh Brolin shouldn't have been playing Thanos. He shouldn't be Cable. It's a lot of this stuff. Like, my whole thing is,
Jonathan Major's finna go to jail for running away from a bitch. And we got
Ezra Miller out here playing. I'm kind of with Derek on that.
No. Playing Reverse Flash in real life, nigga.
Hey. But my whole thing is, at the same time, like, yeah, it's not right. It's not right. Because if you're going to do it, it should have been done a long time ago with these other actors. That's what I'm getting at. It should have been done.
No.
But they're not going to do it.
Terrence, look at what you said. You said Josh Brolin. You said all these white ass names. Wesley Snipes ain't put on a superhero cape since '98 or whatever the fuck Blade came out.
Well,
he been blackballed like a motherfucker. Josh Brolin probably broke a bitch jaw and played the biggest villain in Marvel.
But what I'm getting at,
you got Ezra Miller out here assaulting kids, fighting cops.
Listen.
Fuck that nigga.
What I'm
fuck
getting
James
at
Gunn
is,
too.
Hold on. I agree, but at the same time, it's like DC, their acronym is "Don't Care." I'm surprised Disney kept Josh Brolin. I'm surprised Disney kept, and yet they backed out of what's on my name? Johnny Depp. Jonathan Majors and Johnny Depp. Remember they dropped him from Pirates of the Caribbean, and then they tried to give him all his money when it showed that he didn't do anything. But
yeah,
and yet like you said, honestly at the end of the day, no one's right. Like you gotta play the narrative. Like my whole thing is, you got to go with the narrative. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. But they're not going to do that. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, they're not going to drop Ezra Miller just like how Disney didn't drop Josh Brolin. I'm throwing hints underneath, like read between the lines. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying what it's doing.
Josh Brolin played Thanos. Josh Brolin played Thanos. Everybody loves Thanos. Nobody liked the Flash movie, and you gave us 3 Ezra Millers, like in one movie. We like, yo,
Yeah, I don't care for him. Like, I just don't
Oh my-
care.
I don't either. I don't either. But I'm saying my thing is, you don't have to make another Flash movie. Leave it alone. That like they can say Ezra Miller's in this, but we're not using him ever again. We're done with Flash. I'm fine with Flash being done because
You can't have
I'm
Justice
being
League
honest,
without the Flash.
But
you
I'm just
can't.
saying. But
You have Justice League without Flash, it's a wrap.
but here's the thing though. Like,
Can we get a Flash that look like a Flash, man? Look, I like the characters looking like how they look in the comic books.
my
What's
thing
wrong
is,
with
why
that?
can't we get Flash from the CW show? That would have been perfect if we had him.
Yeah, I like him.
Because
I
that
do
nigga
like
is a
him, though.
terrible Flash. Every season, yo, this nigga's faster than me. How do I get faster? Barry,
Well,
here's
that's
some shit.
terrible writing.
No. Here, Barry, here's some syrup. We can shoot up your ass. We can run faster than Reverse Flash. Season 2, Zoom come up to drag him through the city. Yo, how do I get faster than Zoom? Here, Barry, here's a foot we could put up your ass so you can fight Zoom. Damn, season 3, oh my God, here comes Savitar. Here come all these niggas. How do I get faster? My nigga, you don't
But
know
is
nothing?
But you gotta be careful because sometimes it's not the actor's fault, it's the writer's fault. Like,
He don't
and
look
he in a
like Flash.
position.
He don't act like Flash. He not built like Flash. That nigga was 125 pounds for 8 seasons.
Yeah,
He
I don't
ain't
like
got
the
a
small.
he ain't got a
I don't.
quad
I'm with
muscle he
that.
could
I'm
flex.
with that. It's just like
Tall,
Spider-Man with me. I'm
lanky
kind of sick of the
Flash.
small characters.
Bro,
Nah.
a
Stop
nigga that's
making.
running around
They
all day
shrinking them. I
fast
think
with
they trying
half
to do
muscles
that.
is something. Bro,
I think they doing
this
that on
nigga was the
purpose.
worst. The CW niggas don't need to act in no more superhero shit ever again.
The
He don't
only
need to play
CW,
Flash.
Green Arrow
the
wasn't.
Green Arrow,
After
the
the
Green
first-
Arrow was the
Green
only
Arrow-
one.
Oh, lost him again.
Oh wait, D,
Froze up
we
again.
lost you again. Hold up, you gotta say it again.
What was you about
What
to say
happened?
about Green Arrow?
You gotta say it
paused
again.
I said Green Arrow was the only after season 1 and 2. I'm like, yeah, he could be in a movie, but the Flash, no. The nigga needed help from what was Cisco, a 20-year-old
with that.
fucking GameStop employee telling this nigga what he needed to add to his speed force. Get the fuck out of here.
The best GameStop employee. Come
Why
on,
you
son.
do my boy Cisco like that? But that's so
That's
true.
what he looked like.
He do. He looked just like that. That's so funny. Oh. I didn't.
Yeah,
like the Flash.
yeah. If they would have brought that CW Flash shit, I would have been fucking pissed.
Definitely. I wanna like blonde hair Flash, like a Flash from the comic books. Like I want him to look like the comic
Lil
book
Diesel.
Flash.
Hello, Diesel. That nigga is
Even
not
just
no
like the
skinny
hair
nigga.
color. The hair color just go like well with the idea, like the yellow in his suit and the like, not trying to like overly get into his features and whatnot, but like, you know how sometimes like the actual features that you see it more in anime, but the actual features of the person kind of like complements the suit. You got that a lot with the Flash. It's one of the things that I really enjoyed about reading the Flash comic books. I'm like, yo, everything about this character's design and they suit just goes together. Like, it's a goofy suit when you really think about it. Like, it's really a really goofy suit. He got lightning bolts out from the top. Like, bro, Batman bad enough, but at least we know a bat got pointy ears. He got thunder. It's a real corny suit, but he kill it. Like the whole design of the character makes it work. And so when you try to do that with somebody that look like Ezra Miller, I can't get into it. And I even agree with you. I never really liked the idea of like the look behind the CW's Flash. But I thought that he was trying. To me, I was like, man, this man trying to make this something. Like, this a terrible story. And every season that I will watch, I just be like, he trying, because this is bad, and he trying to do something. So I think it was more or less a respect thing. But I do agree with y'all. In a cinematic universe, he don't even have the look at all that I would want to see out of the Flash.
I feel like he was more moving like a bitch too. To be quite frank, he was moving like a bitch a lot of the time, and I don't expect the Flash. I don't expect a dude like with that confidence. From what I can understand from me reading the comics or seeing the stories, is he's a super confident. He reminds me of like the Spider-Man. He doesn't necessarily show that he's down and out towards. He always has the optimistic view, or always has the quick, witty responses and everything like that to everybody. That's what I expect, and I didn't get that from the CW. Felt like this nigga was always in his fucking feelings, all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
they
that's a
like-
fact.
literally the first before they had their little Flashpoint episode, he was still dealing with his dad and his mom. Like, come on, son. He's
Bruh.
dealing. He's like, honestly, when it's like they humanized the Flash. They didn't have him super duper confident because it's like, what? Who can honestly beat Flash besides Superman? Be honest. All this man gotta do is all this man
A couple niggas beat him in the live action, didn't they? Before he eventually got the upper hand on him. That was the whole premise of the season.
But my whole thing is like once
Yeah,
Flash,
but he shouldn't be like that. I agree
it
with you.
shouldn't. My whole thing is like this show like literally humanized him, which was honestly I like this take. Just like how y'all like the Batman, the Batman with Sparkles the Batman. I like how this Flash is being used under a different take. It's like they humanized him a little bit. They made him. They humbled him. You see him going through his daily struggles. Honestly, he's learning how to really control his powers, and every which way he's getting dragged down by every tragedy and atrocity that's occurring to him.
Well,
Literally.
let's satisfy both then. Let's satisfy both. Like, let's keep some of those character elements that they had in the Flash iterations that we seen, but like let's flesh it out and let's put a new face to it, one that is just more reminiscent of the actual comic book. And then I think you if you took both of those out, like took that and put that in an actual live action film, that really could have potential to be a good movie. Because I don't disagree with you, T. Him having so much animosity in regards to his, losing his parents, the lack of confidence in that. I do think that is a good element to use with the Flash, because it's one of those things where, to T's point, that level of humanization is like one of really the only instances of humanization you can really get with the Flash. Outside of, maybe him having to do something within the Speed Force, like save Iris West and being a little too late. And, you get those instances where they kind of explain how, despite him having the speed, he could still be late to things. He could still, there's always that element, though. I feel like no matter whatever story you tell with the Flash, where that won't necessarily be removed. But that's about even in the comic, like that's the closest element that it feels like you get where you can kind of like relate to this character. Outside of that, he can go and save everything in a split second. He can go back into time. He could disappear. He can come back from death. Like, the dude is really, the Flash is mad crazy. Like, I agree with T. He is mad. He is a problem. Like, he one of those characters. That's why I don't know if you ever seen the zombie, DC Zombies. It's really good, but they just did a comic book story with DC in regards to like, it's like their version of Marvel Zombies. And there was this, spoiler alert, but there was this instance where really the heavyweights went for saving people in that story was Superman and Flash. Like, those were the two that could actually like effectively save people the best, while everybody else, including heroes, were getting infected. And when the Flash got infected, the only one who could stop him was Superman. It was they literally said nobody else, no Wonder Woman, no, there was other heroes that was super powerful. I think Supergirl was there. She mighty strong. They said the only one that would be able to stop the Flash in the current state that he was in is Superman. And that was because they wanted what they figured was the only thing that could stop an object that was constantly in speed to the extent that the Flash was an immovable object. And the only immovable object that they could, and mind you, there was some other heroes that was turned into zombies, so I won't say everybody, but they had to put the big dog against him to do that. And he still ended up harming Superman. Like, I think that part of Flash, no, don't undermine that. If you like Green Lantern, sure, go for it. If you want to kind of go to the lighter points with Green Lantern, because that you see that a lot in the comic where it's like, okay, he need his whole crew, he need a partner, he need whoever, he need a sidekick, somebody to kind of help out. It's always like a story of that. And because the whole thing with Green Lantern is his willpower, I feel like that's another reason why it's like you got to kind of make him get his ass beat. You got to have him like fail a lot. But with somebody like the Flash, nah, show him as like what he is, bro. This motherfucker is speed himself. Like, yo,
honestly,
he should be crazy.
It's like this. I understand Batman got a contingency plan for everybody, but how is he gonna know if he wants to turn back time and take Batman out when he's a child?
Yeah, and that's
What
the thing
contingency
too, is
plan
you
can
heard.
stop that? Come on.
Yeah, like the other problem with tamp like kind of dampering on the Flash is now you also damper on Eobard Thawne, which is a Eobard Thawne in the comics is a problem. Like this dude can really change
Yep.
timelines. Like that's a problem.
And
They
I'm gonna
need to
say this
show these
now:
characters like that.
Flash can beat Superman only by going back in time, and if he knows when that spaceship coming in, we already know what he got to do.
Can Superman not just follow him? Can Superman not go fast enough?
But it goes like this, Rob. It goes like this. Flash can wake up in the morning, out his bed, and say, you know what? Bump Batman, bump Superman. I'm gonna take them both out right now. Pew! Turn back time it where he comes down from that ship the ship from his home planet, and body that child. Not condoning violence against children, but I'm just saying.
Not even that. He could just have them be taken like Red Sun, like just have them be taken by the Soviets as opposed to Clark and or as opposed to Martha and whatever the father's name
Because then the
was.
Soviets gonna use him as a weapon. No, because then you got to worry about that
Yeah, but
later
that
on
could-
in life.
True.
Nah,
True.
no, you just take him out completely.
Or with Batman, low key, he could just save his parents. Now you ain't got no
Yeah,
Batman.
and now you ain't
You
got
right.
no Batman anymore.
You right.
Like that, he really is. Because if you can't establish the Flash as being like even remotely that strong, there's no point in trying to bring in a Wally West, who is arguably even stronger. It's debatable, but you can't like. There's more developed speedsters that's even more developed than Barry Allen. You can never really hit on their storylines as it exists, as the Flash that we know now exists. That's why it's like I don't think DC does a good job thinking about the long haul.
I think they
Like
should
I
use
do
Wally
think
West,
Marvel
too.
does better with that.
Yeah.
That would be fire. I would be cool with that. Switch it up, do a Wally West, say that Barry Allen got stuck in the Speed Force, which is comic book accurate. And then we just get Wally West and he's trying to comfort his aunt Iris, so you still could kind of keep the Iris connection if you want, just to keep the storyline along. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that because that's another character where it's like, bro, dude, Wally West is crazy. Like that dude is insane. He learned how to do like speed. He learned the I think it was him that first did. You know that punch that the Flash does where he like speeds up
The
everything?
infinite math punch.
Yeah, that might have been Barry Allen in the comic, but I
No, that was
think
Zoom did that shit too. I mean,
who was the
Reverse
first
Flash.
speedster to do that though? Was it Wally West or was it Barry
I
Allen?
think it was Reverse. I think it was Reverse Flash. He was fighting Wonder Woman, and he did the infinite mass punch, and she was like, he hits like just as strong as Superman when he did that
Yeah,
shit.
so like stuff like that right now, as we know the character, you just can't get any of that. So it's like focus on that, make this, and then that's another. You could look at the Flash as like another heavy hitter. I mean, it's not Superman, no, it's not Superman. We got it, but you could look at him as like he's still a problem when he around. You don't feel if you did a movie with Darkseid, you can't envision like the Flash possibly doing something to help. And that's crazy to me. Like he should be able to do an infinite mass punch or something like that. He shouldn't be just I mean, yeah, you can write him where he just getting slapped by Darkseid because that has been written before, but like you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like you can make him more useful. He just don't feel useful in that's the word I'm looking for. He don't feel useful in none of the films.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna get on this topic again, so we could DC, especially with James Gunn at the helm. But we appreciate y'all for week 14. yet another week, with my brethren coming to you. We have Chef D, who's here right now, but he shall be back. Crocoscorner, you can find him at all platforms for podcast related issues with anime. When it comes, damn, my mic is going in and out again.
Yep. You might need a new mic, bro.
Golly. All right, Crocoscorner. You can find him at all podcast platforms. Crocoscorner.
All right, Wood and next platform.
All right. And then Tsmoov as well. You can find him at twitch.tv Tsmoov Entertainment, where he will be multiple different streams throughout the week playing a variety of games. Hope I'm not now. If I am, let me know. Are we good?
I can hear you breathing mad heavy.
All right. I got this shit right up to my fucking mouth. But thank y'all again for week 14. We greatly appreciate it. Hope to see y'all again next week for another episode. Squad Nero, we are out.
Thank you guys.
You know you lucky I'm letting that slide though.